Creeping. Oh, I can't be singing then. We're gonna. Well, whoever was trying to call, looks like they already hung up. No, they're there.
Yeah, they're like, oh, am I supposed to be talking?
I don't know. Let's see. Boop 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 boop.
Do.
I have an arrangement with Jimmy. I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, I read that and I was like, what the heck?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, don't take us live yet. I need a bottle of water. I'll be we'll leave the holding thing up. One moment.
Do. Well, that's good. Hello things, load on my screen. That would be fantastic. I mean, when I go to YouTube, I'm just like, am I?
All right, now before we get live, I'd like to tell you that my biggest secret that I would never want the audience to ever know.
I mean,
go for it. Funny.
You don't have anything funny?
I thought I'd come up with something in time.
Something witty?
Something witty, indeed.
What is actually witty anymore? You know?
I don't know.
Is it like all of a sudden?
Oh, fuck off. Fuck right off with that. All right, go ahead and take us live. That's good enough of an intro. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Calling It Now. I'm Jimmy Snow, and this is Ari Mermaid. Are we live? Did we get it? Did we make it? We did. Have we been live that whole time?
It looks like Ari froze.
Yes. Yep. I'm always frozen, you know?
Yeah, go ahead and do that little toggle.
I did, and then I accidentally hit it twice. Hello?
Did you turn your camera back on?
There we go.
Hey, we back.
Sorry. At least I managed to not freeze in a horrible look on my face. So there is that part. The audience might disagree. Who knows?
I don't know. Those drunks. Welcome everybody to Calling It Now. I'm Jimmy Snow. This is Ari Mermaid. We are a leftist call-in show where you can call in on anything you disagree with us upon. The phone number is there on the screen, 336-543-2101. I am entirely overstimulated at the moment. It's been a busy day with a lot of twists and turns. And lots of stuff going on behind the scenes. And I think we are lining up our next debate possibly for even next Tuesday with an individual called Professor Mike. I believe Professor Mike will be making an appearance unless he had posted this video about how Democrats can't debate. That was a picture of him in a shirt, with his pumping up his guns that I'm sure are completely natural guns.
So perfect.
Yeah. And anyway, so we followed up. I'm not actually a Democrat, so guys, don't tell him that I'm an actual leftist. But on top of that, it looks like we might be able to feature somebody else who he's getting all up in the DMs of. So it'll be very, very interesting to see what happens. That debate looks like it is forming. I'm hoping he has a friend. I prefer 2v2 debates for a lot of reasons. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens tonight. We'll see if Euro ends up back in the live chat again. Was
hilarious. That was so funny. He's just upset about the video I posted. Nobody even knew you posted a video. Yeah.
Haven't even seen it, nor do I worry. Like the way he fact checked on live. I do know Javon said if he wants to do a 1v1 using our other format, bullet debate, which also allows for an equal amount of time per person, that Javon will do a 1v1. So I'll reach out to Euro and see if he wants to do that, because my understanding is Euro's big issue is with the sources that Javon brought, and so they can talk about it straight up. What was the word he used again? I keep making fun of it, but I keep forgetting about it.
I mean, I guess in which part? I did go back, I missed a part, the middle part of the whole show, but I went back and watched all of it because I was like, yeah, and I came back for the crash, the ending of it, the whole crash out on
look, at a certain point, the debate was over, and I was like, I'm going to make this old man cry tonight.
It was justified.
I knew as I was saying it, too, that they were going to be, though they actually haven't. I was expecting people to be like, God, Jimmy just could not let go and just kept rage baiting that guy. And I did. You were definitely right. And I enjoyed rage baiting him. I had a fun time. But it was good to do that. We've worked out some kinks. I know how to make adjustments to the future debates. I think that the debates coming forward after that will be quite a bit better. I think we've worked out how to fix that. How to simplify the format. No longer using the clarifying question. Just start rebuttals. Make every time round 90 seconds, except for the final one, which is open, be 5 minutes. Just to try and make it a lot clearer. Have a moderator there who picks the questions for each side instead of, we were trying to extend this thing where it's like, I'm excited to whatever challenge you want to bring us. So have your MAGA audience watch, have them call in and give us the hardest question possible. But the whole time, despite the fact that we're streaming to their channel, they don't have any MAGA allies. They don't have any MAGA people watching, and they couldn't bring us a single challenging question. Everybody was calling, just wanting to put questions on their side. So anyway, we'll see how the next one goes. Possibly next Tuesday is what we're trying to set it up for. So yours and my show that is off the next Tuesday, we're probably going to have to reschedule because this guy, after going out and be like, I stream every single day. I stream every day. Come on, let's do it. Basically was like, I can only do it on these slots. And Tuesday is the only one that kind of lines up. So Mr. Super Available turns out is not that available, but we'll just move you and I to another night if you can do it.
Sure.
Anyway, we'll figure it out. So that's the fun stuff happening. Don't forget, if you disagree with us on something, you can call 336-543-2101. My heart's racing. I'm overstimulated. I've had to take like 3 naps today because of this health stuff going on. So it's funny because I'm either at a peak of energy that's a little too much, or I'm like dying.
That's it's a crazy level. And like, so same for everyone in my TikTok live. You have to call the number on the screen. You don't get a request on the button. So
yes, there's a number on the screen, 336-543-2101, 336-543-2101, 336-543-2101. I'm just double checking some things with these calls coming in.
Oh, and also my main mod absolutely just loved that debate show. She went back and watched it too.
Well, thank you. Obviously, there were some kinks to work out. Guys, I will tell you, I 100% love that a lot of you said it was entertaining. In no way do I look at that and I go, and I won some tremendous victory.
No.
It was too easy. I mean, it legitimately wasn't an actual challenge. So I felt like I always use this as the metaphor. I felt like a boxer who beat a person who wasn't very good. I'm trying to think of if there's something I can do here. I'm going to send you a note on Discord.
Okay.
Real quick.
No worries. I forgot that I accidentally knocked over my light earlier and didn't set it back up correctly. So it's kind of facing, it's not like the shadowing's not bad. So I think I'll leave it. Okay. Odd.
Call that number 336-543-2101 if you'll fill the dead air while I'm writing this up.
Oh, fill dead air. Well, okay, guys. Listen, I don't know if you saw the news or not, but the UAE is leaving OPEC. What does this mean? Actually, it means more oil to be produced, because the reason why the UAE decided to leave OPEC is because OPEC puts a limit on how much each OPEC country can produce.
I sent the note.
Oil.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna quick look at something on the production computer. But yeah, look at the note and keep talking and tell people to call.
Okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right, that makes sense. But yeah, so that actually means like that's a positive thing after the UAE officially leaves OPEC. And because like I read their statement, I read why, and for those who don't know, the OPEC Plus deal, which put a limit on how much oil they were making anyways, that was signed in April of 2020, is what limited our oil for 2 years. And then because the OPEC countries were making so much money at the time, they continued on the slower production, or the limited production at that time. So then, as soon as April of 2025 is when OPEC was like, yeah, we're going to start ramping up production. We've approved the ramp up of production. So yes, after all of this, it'll happen. It'll more than likely help the market, but there is no guarantee on what that will actually look like, because we're still going to be facing an oil crisis. Even if, let's say, everything stops in Iran tomorrow, we're still going to be in a type of crisis for several months as far as higher energy costs. But yeah, guys, if you want to call in and talk to Jimmy and I, debate because you love MAGA or something, call the number on the screen. It's 336-543-2101. It's a countdown. It's really easy. Also, I realize that we still have the same prompt from Promise, but apparently it's getting people to call in.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I'm not
no
hating
kidding.
it. Like, I'm not hating it. I'm like, okay, it's still the same prompt from Promise,
Stick
because
to
I
it,
remember
yeah.
tuning that in. Yeah, it's not bad.
Not so bad.
So,
All right.
Yay.
Well, we've got a call screening. If you'll just respond to the message I just sent you,
yeah, okay.
and
How do you
then we'll move forward. We'll move on. I mean, it's not just for women. MAGA's bad for everybody. I gotta ask Secular Student Alliance. I had done a thing where every time we donated a certain amount, I added a sticker to my shirt. It ended up being a sensory nightmare. I don't know if this shirt already existed before that, or if they made it in honor of that. But if you made it in honor, Secular Student Alliance, double props. But I also just like the shirt, even if it wasn't on purpose. Okay, here we go. Okay, somebody says, look, it's Dumb and Dumber. Ha ha ha. I assume, Neo, you will be calling in to prove that we are dumb and that you can prove it, that you are smarter than we are. I assume that's going to go down. I sure hope so. I would like to see that happen. And we'll get started here in just a moment. Man, I'm still like out of breath. A little bit out of breath. All right. Let's go ahead and take our first call here. Cameron in Pennsylvania. Cameron in Pennsylvania, you are on the line with Jimmy and Ari. How are you, Cameron?
Good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm just fine. Cameron, first things first, how old are you?
I'm 15.
Cameron, are you the one who called in and your mom was nearby before?
Yep.
Yes, and then I called in twice since then, and it was the first Valkai and Yvonne Bradley. They refused me. So I've been waiting.
Is your mom present this time?
No, she is not.
So here's the thing, Cameron, I don't want to turn you down. I like talking to you. You were reasonable enough. I'll take your question and we'll answer it off air. But if we can get a parent next time you call in, I'm happy to do it with a parent present, because then I never have to worry we've ever breached somewhere your parent doesn't want you to be discussing. And it's just coverage on our side. We're not going to take any risks when it comes to minors. But we're not going to do a back and forth unless at least a parent is present.
I guess so. Well, anyway, well then I guess my question is, I think that sex change surgeries should be held off until the person can make their own medical decisions. Like, I think in Pennsylvania, that's when you're 16.
Okay, cool. We'll answer it off air. You feel free to call back. And by the way, anytime you have trans questions, feel free to call back on a day Luxander is here. If Luxander and I are together and you have a parent present. Sorry for the rule. I know it sucks, Cameron. And on your end, you're probably like, I can have these conversations. I don't even disagree. We just have liability issues to manage. So just give us a call back with a parent.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Cameron.
All right. Yep.
Regarding Cameron's question, sure. So sex change surgeries don't really happen until age of majority. The only thing that sometimes happen are the ones that happen for cisgender people as well. Surgeries that have to do with like breasts, for example. You do not have to wait until you are 18 to have your breasts changed, as long as you have parental consent.
Nose jobs for girls.
Yeah, surgeries are already generally minor care for trans people are going to include potential hormone therapies and hormone blockers. And the appropriate people to decide when that is the right time that will cause the least amount of harm and do the most amount of good are doctors. But, age of majority, I mean, you said 16, Cameron, that would already be an extremely progressive view by a lot of people's perspective. So, you're already ahead of the curve there. But that's and then the question then also becomes when something's a medical need. So for example, if I have what's it called when your tonsils swell? Is it just called tonsillitis?
Tonsillitis, yeah.
I had biliary dyskinesia when I was younger. I think I actually was 18 by the time I got the surgery, but let's say I had biliary dyskinesia, an infected gallbladder, not gallstones, but an infected gallbladder. When I'm 15 years old, that surgery, all surgeries comes with risks. And by the way, it turns out biliary dyskinesia is not something to just be like, oh, you're just getting your gallbladder removed. Turns out getting your gallbladder removed isn't as harmless as they say it is. In fact, your odds of developing the malabsorption disease, which I have, which is called bile acid malabsorption, which it turns out because we did not treat it, ruined my 20s, has so far ruined most of my 30s. And had they just started treating it and identifying it early on, I would have gotten my life back. Legitimately, so much of my medical problems, there were some that still would have been present, but would have been infinitely better if they. Anyway, that's a little bit of an aside. When that situation comes up, technically the parents sign off on the gallbladder surgery, and technically the state will interfere if a parent tries to deny the surgery in some cases, and depending on what it is. Keep in mind, parents have decided when we're talking about like when kids can decide and stuff, kids can't decide a lot of things. And that's why there have been kids of Jehovah's Witness families that have died because Jehovah's Witnesses will reject a blood transfusion on religious grounds. And if you're a child, the odds of you having stores of blood, that's their new exception. The Jehovah's Witnesses recently said you can store your own blood to be used for transfusions in the future. Not if you're a child. You can't do that as you're a child. What if you need it when you're 3? Are we taking pints of blood and storing that of children starting from when they're born? Absolutely not.
Should be weird.
What if a newborn needs it, which is not uncommon? What if a newborn needs a blood transfusion? Are they allowed to take one from their mom? It's weird that they're not, considering pregnancy is nonstop blood transfusions from your mom.
Yep.
I mean, it's kind of, it's a whole weird thing. And so, lots of families and lots of people have died because parents have rejected medical care. Or Christian scientists. Christian scientists believe prayer only. Prayer only is for, it's weird. I hate that they co-opt the name. It's kind of like vaccine skeptic. You aren't fucking skeptics. You're fucking bunch of conspiracy theorist douchebags.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't know about the Jehovah's Witness thing for the longest time. And when I found out, I was just like, that's just weird. And of course, that was from a some fake medical show. But hey, entertainment at the time.
Wait, sorry, say that whole story again.
I was saying it took me a long time to know what that's what Jehovah's Witness followed, that they couldn't take any blood transfusions. That's cool. And saw that coming. Sorry.
What was it?
Just stuff
Troll
falling
in chat?
off. No, just stuff falling off my shelf. I expected that. It's all good. But yeah, no, I didn't know, and I learned it from some medical show or another.
I'm just checking one thing.
No
we can
problem.
go ahead and take this next call. Jay in Texas, you are on the line with Jimmy and Ari. Jay, how old are you?
38. Hey, Jimmy, I'm sorry for your medical issue. I had a mother who had her gallbladder removed. It was always painful for her until they realized what it was. So yeah, Why
cool.
we need free.
I'm a little confused by some
medical.
of the terminology. Is your brother transgender?
I look at myself in that. I mean, I'm just me. That's the way I look at it.
No. I think you said I had a brother who had their gallbladder removed. It was always painful for her. So I was just trying to make sure that before I engage.
I heard grandmother.
I had a mother. I had a mother.
Mother. We both heard wrong.
Yeah, mother.
Got it. Okay, no worries.
I'm sorry about that.
No. You're all good. All right, Jay, what were you calling in on here?
Yes, we your co-host Ari, is that her name? She talking about the UAE moving away from the dollar, and I had called in I think a couple of days ago, telling Jovan about this article I found from 2019 from the Times of Israel, and it said Iran and Israel were set to join a Russian-led free trade agreement, the Euro-Asian Economic Union. And they worked out a framework for it, but both countries were going to join at their separate time. And it's just real interesting that you see what, like, because there's two theories to this thing. Like, Trump is going to go, like, from the MAGA side, Trump is going to go over there and control it all and take over China's Belt and Road. And then there's another side where he's going to pull us out, and then we're going to control our hemisphere, and they're going to control their hemisphere. My thinking is, I think they're going to try to collapse us, and then they're going to move out.
Who do you mean by they?
Like, well, because like if you look at like because Trump and his and all the rich elites, I guess, like people who run the companies, and because like this military weapons sale goes on both sides, and that's what I've always been thinking. Like with all these influencers, especially who are real rich, anybody pushing for this war or anything or any type of surveillance, I wonder if they have any stocks in these weapons companies or any subsidiary companies that tie into that.
Yeah, they do. I mean, the Trump administration does, to start with, is probably the big, not the Trump administration, Trump's kids have, they started drone companies and stuff. But I mean, like, I don't see personally, and maybe this is my little bit of shelter, I don't see any kind of issue with the UAE withdrawing from utilizing the US dollar, or other countries withdrawing from utilizing the US dollar. Yes, it would hurt the US economy, but it's the same issue that everybody already finds like having an issue or having a problem with, that we moved away from fiat currency, so our dollar is not backed by anything, which I mean, that's most things are not backed by anything. But I think that potentially other countries moving away from the US dollar would push us away from capitalism and potentially moving. Yeah. And that's like my biggest thing. I'm not in love with capitalism. I can't say further than that. Like I don't know. I don't like capitalism. Well, unregulated capitalism is going to be the death to society.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right, because it's bad money pushing out good money, in the sense of, like you said, fiat currency. It's like receipts pushing out tangible currencies or hard currencies that have some type of usage for people, and moving away from the dollar. They're trying to hopefully think that the yuan, the yuan, or the Chinese yuan, I can't say it, but they hopefully, they're hopefully that's going to be backed, because with the BRICS and what they would call the anti-hegemon, which they have nothing in cultural common with each other. The only thing common is that the U.S. dollar keeps their economies stagnant and low. So if they could have their own marketplace, because right now Iran just opened up, because you know how Trump was saying, Iran is blocked off from the Straits, but they have their own rail line connecting China, and they're sending oil that way. It just opened like last May.
Yeah,
so they're really interesting.
China's still getting oil, just at a far limited capacity from Iran. They still had, towards the beginning of all of this, they had 3 tankers that made their way to China to deliver. oil and whatnot. So that already happened, right? But I don't see any issue with the UAE leaving OPEC. I think is potentially going to help the global market at the end of the day. But again, more importantly, I don't care that countries don't use us as the primary currency, because I'm going to need to be
brought up to speed. Sorry, guys, if you saw me on the phone there was a person calling in who was an obvious troll. So I answered using my own phone to the screener line, immediately tried to jump to slurs. And then they're using a VoIP provider, like one of those things where you can go in and it's like you can make it anonymize your number. They're not that anonymous, though, because you have to put in certain account details. Anyway, they tried to use it's either Envoy or 5-Cinch. Envoy's 5-Cinch, I think, is the whole thing called. Anyway, was trying to use that thing, got on, and he's like, oh, I'm just calling to just tell you guys. And then the slurs became, but here's the fucking funny thing. Do y'all remember how the other night we had that debate and racist Santa couldn't figure out his microphone? Neither could this guy. His audio was so bad. He got his slurs out, and then the whole thing was, if you're going to troll, be a technologically literate troll. You fucking groypers have to learn how to use the internet. It's either you guys are spending all of your fucking time like trying to figure out how to dox people, or you don't know how to use a basic phone service. There's no in between. Jesus Christ. Did we record it? I record everything. Everything gets recorded, but we're not going to play it. I repeated the slurs he called me. You might be able to see me wording some slurs, mouthing some slurs if you look back. But we're not going to play it on here. We're not going to platform the slurs, but we have it if we should ever need it. Anyway, bring me up to speed. What's happening with Jay?
I mean, we were just talking about the UAE leaving OPEC, and we were talking about other countries utilizing USD as their primary currency for purchasing. And I said, I don't care, because I feel like that moves us further away from capitalism, probably moves us further into isolationism, which wouldn't be a great thing. But I'm okay with us kind of falling off in that way.
Are we suggesting that Donald Trump is a positive when less people will be buying oil using the USD, or are we saying he's a negative? Are we in a debate call or in an agreement call?
It sounds like we're in agreement.
Trying to analyze the situation. Yeah, there you go. Analyze the situation on what he's doing, because I was going to ask you, why do you think you keep saying it's blocked off, they're dealing with us, and then it's like everybody know he's lying, but the media still keeps thinking, is it?
Not everybody knows.
Well, no.
Honestly, I honestly, I kind of think they do. I don't know that they know that he's like a liar or whatever, but I think the right knows that they are disingenuous. I think the right knows they only say the words that justify whatever it is they're trying to say, and they're terribly unimpressive at doing so. And so, by the way, energy costs are going to continue to skyrocket. And just so you guys know, $4 a gallon of gas, I'm telling you right now, and I'm pretty good with these damn predictions, we will long for the $4 a gallon of gas in the future because of the shit Trump is doing.
Because it really doesn't matter. Yeah, because I already said that too. I was like, it really doesn't matter if the war, let's say it effectively ended tomorrow. It doesn't matter. We've blown up oil fields. We've blown up the production area of the oil field. Sorry, I can't think of the words. The driller, like the drilling, the rigs, and I can't think of words. I should just stop.
I honestly spaced out because I don't get that invested in calls where we're not disagreeing. Do we?
Right?
Yeah.
Jay, do you have something we disagree on though? Because I'm trying to fight, man. I'm going to be honest.
Let me think. Let me be a devil's advocate. Let me think.
No. I don't want a devil's advocate. I don't want a fake one.
You're still going to be agreeable if you're playing devil's advocate.
And MAGA, you can call in right now. We're telling you, we want the challenge. We want you to tell us why we're wrong, and we want you to give us something to think about and go, oh shit, are we counting our chickens before we hatch? I'll talk about the fucking thing. All right, guys, here you go. Here's your thing to call on, 336-543-2101. Donald Trump is the reason why Donald Trump keeps almost getting assassinated. Donald Trump is the reason why violence is getting worse. Donald Trump is responsible for all that shit. And guess what? I don't even believe it was staged. Not only do I not believe it was staged, if you're a Democrat or a leftist who thinks it was staged, I'll argue with you too. It is not obviously staged. You sound like a QAnon conspiracy-minded idiot right now when you're saying that fucking shit. So just call in 336-543-2101. Warthog in live chat talking down about who is and isn't the brightest. And yet you're not willing to call in and put your thoughts on the line. You're not willing to call in and challenge your arguments. You're just going to go in there and talk a bunch of shit in the live chat because you aren't capable of more. Impress me. I will respect if you're willing to actually call in and put these challenges to the test. 336-543-2101. 336-543-2101. Also, guys, just so you know, Tucker Carlson is definitely running for president. I hope you guys have figured that out and that he's got a good chance of being the nominee. All right, go ahead, Jay. What,
I don't know if that part was satire, but damn.
No. I'm dead ass. Dead ass. We'll talk about it after the Jay call is over. Okay. Dead ass. Tucker Carlson is definitely going to be running for president. He hasn't announced it yet. This isn't news. I'm not telling you guys the news. I'm telling you, I predicted a lot of shit about the last election before it happened, and this is one of mine that I'm standing by.
Perfect.
Anyway,
Jimmy, your show's awesome, man. It's crazy. It's wild, but I like it. Thanks. Yeah, you're right. Tucker Carlson's probably going to run for president, but you could easily destroy his narrative because you know how he's trying to say, oh, you know, we want to talk about who really did like 9/11 and everything and stuff like that. But you could just say, for his entire career, he would always say anybody who questioned it, he called them like a parasite on
What are we doing?
How
are we doing this?
So,
what are we going to be? When are we going to take it serious? You're going to invade Iran, and you think that you can just invade Iran? I'm working on it because I can do impressions of all the living presidents. Yep. Okay,
so
and I'm preparing
so fake,
Tucker.
Right?
Yeah.
Anyway,
so Jay, we're gonna let you go unless you got
you.
something for us to fight you on. All right, sounds good.
You have a good day. You have a good night. Thank you for taking my call.
Yeah.
Bye.
Why are you not? My watch is like dying for some unknown reason, and that doesn't make sense.
336-543-2101. If you want to argue, you want to debate, you think that Animal Farm was supposed to be a pro-capitalism movie and book. You want to call in a debate on that shit. You think that ABC should have fired Jimmy Kimmel. You're full of shit. Oh. No, they shouldn't. Call in and tell us why. 336-543 or 336-543-2101. Someone said, Tucker, I hardly know her. Boom. I hope you know the reference. Boom.
Nope, not at all. I don't.
We've been rewatching. Well, it's a rewatch for me. My partner's seeing it for the first time. There's a show that started in 2016 called Last Man on Earth, and it's about a giant pandemic hitting the world and basically killing everybody but a few people. I think it ended in 2019 because then the pandemic happened.
Actually occurred.
And there's like a weird number of parallels in the whole thing. There's the masking and the vaccine stuff and like things that it's weird. Anyway, the show is really fucking funny. And that's why if you ever hear me reference the open-ended question of unwitnessed death, if you've ever heard me reference that, that's what you're hearing.
I've actually watched the very first episode of that.
The show's really good. You got to watch past episode 1.
A long time ago.
You gotta watch past episode 1. All right. Well,
I'll hear you.
We've got a person calling who is very likely a troll because they are calling in with a fake name, pretending that they are somebody else. They've called in with a different name prior.
They're doing great.
I also know the legal name of the person who owns their Verizon account. So as we bring Charlie on, just know that if you troll, I will be calling the person who owns your Verizon account and playing the call for them. So Charlie in Alabama, who's pretending this time to be a MAGA, what's on your mind, Charlie?
Oh, yeah, I just think that, the Jews run America. That's like
right. Hey, Charlie, last time you called in as Richard, and you pretended to be a socialist.
That's funny. Hey, well, we can talk about like the subject matter where we can like.
Sure. How old are you, Charlie? How old are you?
You don't need to know that.
Yes, I do. It's one of our screening questions. Yeah. It's our show. This is one of the things we do, and one of the things we have to do is make sure we're talking to somebody capable.
It's
How old are you?
also TikTok terms of service, which you're on air on TikTok. So how old are you? Let's try that.
I'm like 35. I'm like 35.
You're like 35.
Like,
hey,
how do you just like an age?
And now, Charlie, you're on a Verizon. You're on a Verizon phone right now. Will you tell me?
So
you don't have to tell me their name.
Shit, aren't you, little weasel?
Yeah. You don't have to tell me
who's personal information. All right.
Hey,
nigger,
Charlie. Before you leave, I've muted you. You're okay with me playing what you just did for the person on your account whose initials are CLP. I'm not going to say her actual full name, but you're okay, unless you want to apologize. I'm going to give you an opportunity to apologize. Are you okay with me making sure that CLP hears this phone call? You cool with that?
CLP, the fucking chemical you put on guns.
No. Think about the initials of the owner. No. Think about the initials of the owner of this account. Her name is CLP. Are you okay with me contacting her and playing this call for her because she will recognize your voice? You cool with that?
Geeks, nigger.
Okay. All right, cool. I'm going to, just so you know, I'm going to call her and make sure that this call gets played for her. So look forward to that woman in your life and look forward to her. I don't know if it's a mother or a sister. Obviously, it's not your account. You're a deadbeat. But yeah, I will be calling her and we'll be talking. So well done, Charlie. You got on air to spam and now you're the person who owns your account. Oh, also we'll be passing that along to some other individuals who will be contacting you. I mean, it's just really, really funny. Don't worry. Legal individuals, we're not going to dox you to the public, but Charlie, you're calling in, you're using hateful phrasing and stuff. We're not going to unmute you now, Charlie. You can just stay on mute for the rest of the show if you like.
Do it, man.
You got that. You got it. You made it, Charlie. You made it on the air and said it. And now CLP, I know you know who she is. Her other initials are CK. She's married, but before they were CLP, they were CK. We'll be talking to her, and we'll make sure that she knows the type of phone calls you make. I'm looking forward to it.
It's fantastic.
Ooh, there Charlie went. Oh, there Charlie went. Charlie hung up. We have another call that is screening. These people are unimpressed. And here's the thing, guys. You're calling in to fight leftists, and you're showing us that you are who we say you are. You're showing us that you are absolutely the people we think you are. That MAGA is racist people who are just like, yeah, I like it. I like to say shit like this, Bless you, bless you for it. Well,
my mod said, Charlie has a stepdaddy already? Damn. Well, I'll just slide on in anyway.
Yeah, it's interesting, too. You called from a phone number that belongs to a company. So I wonder, Charlie, I wonder if you're going to be bothered by the fact that when we contact this company, that you use that kind of language to represent their company. I wonder that's how that's going to go. Very, very much. Interesting. Interesting. You work there, I just found out.
No. Dude, you're
interesting.
So dumb.
Holy shit, dude. You work at this place. Oh my goodness. You work at the place you called us from and spammed the N-word. I sure hope for your sake that you own it too and that this isn't your employer. Boy, I really hope so. Oh my goodness.
Ooh.
My fucking goodness.
You really gotta be smarter about things.
Yeah, you do. Here, I'm just gonna make sure that we...
I enjoy it when they're not smart, so I take that back.
Yeah. Yeah. My goodness, what an idiot. What an idiot to call in and just be like, oh, I'm just going to call in and spam the N-word from my work phone number.
As an adult too, like, dude.
Man, you're making it difficult. It's difficult to not just say like, hey, everybody, just so you know, this is that guy. This is that guy that called in with that number. Called in with that number. Man, what a bummer. What a bummer, Charlie, that you work at this place and that your Verizon account, you work at this place, you might own this place, and yet, Charlie, which is your name, it turns out, you used a real name this time. Charlie, you're calling in, and yet you don't even own your own Verizon account. That's fucking crazy. That is fucking crazy. Of course, I'm not voting Republican in the midterms. That's what a stupid thing to say in live chat. What a dumbass thing to say.
I see.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna, let's see.
Must have missed it. Let's see.
Throw this in this chat so I can keep track of it, because I am gonna make sure that the owner of that account knows. Charlie called with this number and spammed the N-word. Oh man, right now you've got 5 stars on your Google reviews too. It would be fucking terrible if somebody made sure using the Google reviews that they find out that they would be hiring a racist. That would be fucking rough, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be? Wouldn't that be just terrible? All right, well, guys, be prepared for potentially more slurs. We'll find out. We'll see if the groiper who is calling in is looking to call in and be cool about it. Eli in North Dakota. Eli, you're not going to be a slur factory, are you?
We'll see. We'll see about that. But
no. I'm going to need your commitment that I'm going to need your commitment that you're not going to do it. Okay.
Hey, you know what? I can restrain myself since I won't say it for this live. All right.
All right, for this live, I appreciate the temporary restraint. Eli, how old are you?
That's insane.
I'm 20.
20 years old.
But I just want to say quickly, just you leaving that review actually makes me want to support them even more. But
good thing I didn't point you to it. But so Eli, I mean, you're calling in and you're saying you would want to support a business of a person who is, by the way, Eli, as a groiper, I'm sure you're doing lots of online doxing of people and you're making sure to be smart about it so you don't get caught and stuff. You're not offended that this person was dumb enough to use their business's phone number to call in? Like, when a person on the left makes dumb arguments and goes about things in a dumb way, I'm literally like, I don't fucking own, like, that guy, fuck that guy. He sucks at it. You're not embarrassed at all that you want to support the guy who was that dumb?
Should be.
A little silly. That's a little silly. But, I mean, I'm sure he's confident enough to have good employers and be employed and have all that stuff, so.
We'll find out. I'm going to make sure his employer knows, and if he's the one who owns it, I'll just make sure that his mom, who owns his account knows.
Well, I'm sure you have skeletons. Yeah, I'm sure you have skeletons in your closet.
Yeah, I've talked about the skeletons in my closet. When I was your age, Eli, I used the N-word like crazy. I was a libertarian who believed that it was important that white people take back that word. I didn't do it out of hatred of black people. I was intercepted by right-wing dumb things, and I believed those things. And I have been very open about the skeletons in my closet.
Yeah. No, I'm saying your search history as of right now is probably very suspicious, man. So there's probably some.
I think it would honestly bore you. I mean, do you like gay shit? Are you into gay shit?
What are we debating about today? Well,
you brought up my search history. There's gay shit in there.
Also, Eli, your mic is clipping when you talk.
Yeah, it's clipping.
Can you back
real
up
bad.
from it?
Real bad clipping.
I wish you guys would use If you guys use StreamYard, it'd be perfect. Then I could webcam and all that stuff, and it'd look good. But
I don't think Eli, I don't think I would. A person who has endorsed somebody who just called in to spam the N-word, that's the extent of their political activism. I
don't want you on camera.
I think I'd be platforming you like that. You know.
StreamYard would be good. StreamYard would be good.
No.
Well, let's talk about Let's talk about the hypocrisy of the left. So you guys talk about women's rights, and yet you guys want men in women's sports, women's bathrooms.
No, I don't.
Specifically.
Sorry, you're incorrect. I don't want men in women's sports.
You do, because trans women are men.
No, they're not.
Trans women are men.
They aren't.
Yeah, they are. They have their genitalia, men's genitalia, and I'm saying if you have men genitalia, you should not be competing in women's sports. That's
sure.
Just fun.
Okay, so Eli, I'm excited for this opportunity. Eli, I'm excited for this opportunity to educate you. There's no such thing as men genitalia. Genitalia doesn't actually describe gender. And I'm sorry, Eli, the 20-year-old gloiper who's calling in randomly.
Dude, back up from your mic.
Okay. So because of your audio clipping and the ridiculous laugh now, that was, by the way, very fake. And if you're calling in trying to say you're not into gay shit, work on your fake laugh, because my gaydar just went off like 100 decibels. That was the gayest laugh I've ever heard. Okay, Eli, I'm glad to educate you on this. I'm going to go with actually the science, and the best science we have, which is that gender is psychological and that sex is closer to hard-coded, but even the thing that you're describing wouldn't be hard-coded. In fact, there are male individuals who don't have penises, for example, or testicles. There are actual people you would agree, I assume, are males because they have XY chromosomes, but no expression of an SRY gene. So not only are you wrong about gender, because gender, men and women, are not the same as sex, male and female, you also aren't aware that sex isn't as straightforward. So when you say we are being hypocritical, we are only hypocritical if we accept your framing, but I don't. In fact, Eli, you will, when you come back, I hope concede that actually, if I accept my own framing, it isn't hypocritical, that with my values and what I accept as true, which would be actual science, that it isn't hypocritical. It's only hypocritical if I accept your truth, what you call truth, your values. That would be true, correct, Eli?
Can I respond?
Yes.
Wow. So can I respond now?
Yes.
Wait, was I muted that whole time?
Yes, because you were clipping when you were laughing fakely and gaily.
And it hurts my ears.
Like you were clipping so loud. You're welcome to go back and listen to check it.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm glad you guys are done with the monologue.
Okay,
gender ideology is completely incoherent.
Can you back off your mic?
Gender ideology. Let me put that on speaker.
Sure, let's try speaker.
So according to 6...
No, that's worse. And now it seems like you're yelling. This is worse. So go back to your mic and just move your phone a little further from your mouth.
This is cooked, man. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's okay. It's 2026.
Horrible.
Okay.
Yeah.
So according to 6 very profoundly intelligent feminist philosophers,
great,
they would say that gender ideology is completely incoherent, and the identification.
And according to 7 I have, and according to 7 that I know, they'd say it's coherent.
No.
I'm pointing out how dumb your thing is.
So
I would just say, according to 7,
I'm just talking about your side. These are feminists, right? And you guys would proclaim to be feminists, right?
Who are they?
I'm sorry, there is no monolith of feminists. One person who identifies as a feminist does not automatically adopt. In fact, you could say to those 6 feminists, you could inverse it.
Don't run away.
If you're a feminist and so is Jimmy, you must adopt what Jimmy says.
Let's engage. Don't run. Let's engage. Don't run.
I'm sorry, Eli. In what way was this running? I'm going to mute you now just for fun because you're using completely dishonest, bad faith responses. Nobody ran.
So horrible.
I just explained to you the concept, Eli. You said, but they're on your side. Okay, well then they should, if that's how the logic works, then they're breaking ranks when they don't agree with me. I'm not breaking ranks when they don't agree with them. But that isn't how it works. Feminism isn't monolithic, and a person identifying as a feminist doesn't mean that they're a feminist. So now, Eli, we'll bring you back on, and this time actually engage the actual question. In fact, you never engaged the challenge to you. Am I a hypocrite if it is consistent with my values? Am I only a hypocrite if I adopt your values? Go ahead, Eli.
Your values are completely incoherent, so the only actually logically coherent view is my view, and by that,
what is the definition of incoherent?
Being a hypocrite.
What is the definition of incoherent?
This is the consensus among most people on the planet, right?
That's an argument ad populum. That's an argument.
Politics.
Eli, 1, it's not true, and 2, it's an argument ad populum, which is a fallacy.
It's only a fallacy if it's in a formal setting. This is an informal
dialogue. No, it isn't. It's
so
a fallacy if it is. No, it is not. You are incorrect. If your argument is dependent.
You're absolutely wrong.
Okay, great. We're going to have to mute you again because you don't know how to shut the fuck up when it's not your turn. After complaining about being interrupted. So here we are coming back in. Eli, if your argument is dependent on the claim you have made and that claim is fallacious, it is a logical fallacy. I'm actually going to go to Grok for you. Do I have access to Grok? I don't pay Twitter.
You have
I'm gonna
to
find out.
at least be signed in. I do know that much.
Okay, I think Perplexity is willing to use Grok, and I have Perplexity. Ooh. I think I can manually choose the Grok system. I don't usually. Model, nope, they got rid of Grok. You know what? Good for them. All right, we'll just use Perplexity. Can a logical fallacy only be a fallacy if used in a formal debate setting? Or is an argument fallacious regardless of setting? Let's find out. Let's see what Perplexity says. Guys, Eli's claim, I'm the one with the incoherent, is that it is only a fallacy when used in a formal setting. Here is the response from Perplexity. And Perplexity has given 13 sources. You can look at IEP.UTM. Obviously, there's Wikipedia. There is different channels laying it out. There's GEOL.UMD. There's Al.Purdue. I mean, Purdue, though. Anyway, here's the response. An argument can be fallacious in any context. It does not need to occur in a formal debate to count as a logical fallacy. I think, Eli, and it's good you're here. You're 20 years old. You need educating. So I think I could do that for you. I think what you meant to say is it's only a fallacy if it is connected to the argument. So, for example, if I say to you, Eli, you're wrong because you're an idiot, that would be a logical fallacy, an ad hominem fallacy. If I say separate from the argument, you're wrong because your definitions of coherence are inconsistent and you don't know what they mean and you don't know what qualifies as a logical fallacy, but also in addition, separate from you being wrong, you are an idiot. That would just be an ad hominem, drop the fallacy. So Eli, would you like to source for me where you can prove to me that I am in fact wrong? Would you like to give me, let's say, an educational source or something that fallacies are only logical fallacies when put into a formal setting? And then you'll need to also define formal setting.
Oh, he won't be able to.
Here we go, Eli. Take it on.
If you look at the Oxford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, it literally says that an ad populum fallacy does not conform when it is in an informal setting. So you're just, I don't know why you're looking at
I'm sorry, Eli, where can I find that?
Yeah, dude, you just don't want to engage. Let's actually engage.
Eli, what is your source on that? No, I'm not going. I'm going to have to mute you again because once again, I'm muting you once again to tell you to back off your mic. You are clipping like a madman. I thought Groypers were technically literate.
Apparently not.
Eli, you are trying to talk me down and just say it is true, and I am simply asking you for a source. I've just pulled up sources that disagree. Logical fallacies are fallacies in any setting. And why you would even think they weren't doesn't even compute. If it is not okay in a formal setting to use a logical fallacy, why would it be in what you're calling an informal setting okay to use? So I simply need a source for where it says that it's not it's not an argument ad populum unless in a formal setting. I'm going to need that source, and I need your definition of a formal setting, because I would contend you're in a formal setting right now. Here you go, Eli.
So an appeal to consensus is not a fallacy in an informal setting.
And are you going to give me that source? And by the way, I accused you of an argument ad populum, which is technically similar but different.
Well, no, I was having an appeal to consensus, which
I accused you of an argument ad populum, but an appeal to consensus fallacy is still a fallacy.
Yeah,
because it is an Eli.
Oh my God,
Eli,
dude, I can't deal with the mic.
What is your source? Oh, did you mute him again? Your mic is so bad. How are you not figuring that? Just move it away from your mouth. Just turn it away. I don't know what you got to do, but turn it upside down. Hold it above your head with the earpiece too, if that's what we have to do.
Use Bluetooth. Use Bluetooth. But before you muted him last time and then took him off mute, he said that it was like he learned in philosophy that an ad populum fallacy can only apply in a formal setting, which, of course, quick search says the opposite is true. It's
correct. I just pulled it up too. Appeal to consensus is fallacious, whether or not it is in a formal setting or not. So, first of all, Eli, you're wrong. Now let's talk about formal setting, unless you're willing to give that source. In what way are you not in a formal setting right now?
My point was, and don't interrupt, my point was not to say that because everybody agrees it is in fact true. It was a jumping off point to show that you guys are the ones with the fringe opinion, not me.
I don't care whether it's fringe.
I don't. As a proof.
Yes, you were.
Using it as a proof.
You were.
So let's just stop with this dumb argument.
I'm sorry, you were. You were using it as a proof.
It wasn't an ad populum. It was an appeal to consensus.
So first of all, Eli, it's both.
In an informal
first of all, Eli, it's both. Are you now willing to concede that you were wrong? Are you willing to at least admit, prove that you were wrong about it having to be in a formal setting?
You just said no.
Because I meant appeal to consensus.
Okay, great. Appeals to consensus also don't matter whether or not they're in a formal setting. I've already checked that.
And there's the clipping.
I've already looked it up. You are incorrect. So would you like to give me a source on where a formal consensus is?
No, look it up. Look it up.
Go ahead. Give me the source. What's the source?
No, you look it up. Appeal to consensus in an
I already did. I literally already typed is an appeal to consensus. I'm reading it to you right now. Listen, I did it after you weren't listening. Is a appeal to consensus fallacy only fallacious in a formal setting? Here is the response using very similar sources. No, appeal to consensus, a form of argumentum ad populum, is fallacious whether or not it is in a formal setting. It is based on how it is used, not based on whether you are in a formal setting. And then it defines what appeal to consensus is, when an appeal to consensus is fallacious, when referencing consensus is not fallacious, and the role of context. So I already have looked it up. Would you like to give me your source that contends with what I looked up?
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
So you're not going to provide the source that contradicts?
Hold on. Is it okay? So if all the experts in every single field says that the Earth is round, is that evidence that the Earth is round?
No,
and explain
not in and of itself. Claims are not themselves evidence.
So you're saying that all the experts...
Oops, sorry, I have to mute you once again. It does not prove... I was trying to remember the way you worded it. It does not prove that the Earth is round. That if everybody who was an expert said so. If you asked if it simply is evidence that the Earth is round, I would say yes, that actually is. And consensus can actually be referred to. You did not actually refer to expert consensus. You referred to the consensus of the world, making it furthermore fallacious. And then you're once again, Eli, if you hate gay people this much, stop stealing their laugh. Every time you laugh, I go, this guy wants to get double-throated. Okay. An appeal to consensus...
He's already eating his microphone.
Is fallacious when that was the core of your argument, that we are wrong because most people, which by the way, you don't actually have the data to back up, but that most people disagree on whether gender and sex is different. It wouldn't matter. And the consensus amongst scientists in relevant fields, because I do not care what an ecologist has to say about it. Okay, I don't care what a geologist has to say about it. In relevant field, the consensus in the field of psychology is that gender and sex are separate. I am still waiting to hear if you are going to concede. If you're not willing to admit you were wrong, I don't know what the point is. You've proven your bad faith. If you're not willing to admit that you're wrong, that I don't even care whether you want to admit you used a fallacy. I want you to admit that it does not matter whether the setting is formal or not, and you were wrong for thinking that it mattered whether the setting was formal or not. Eli, will you concede to that?
You just proved that I'm right, that if every expert in every field agrees with the position, it adds to the probability of that proposition being true. So you just lost.
Eli, I didn't lose. I've muted you again. Your question was, because I already told you what you just described was wrong, the consensus of most experts in the field is in fact, so if I wanted to appeal to consensus, I would appeal as a demonstration. So this is, for example, how anecdotal evidence works. There's times just using anecdotal evidence is a dumb thing to do, to say because of anecdote. However, if you have the data and you can present the data, and then on top, you can use anecdotes to be illustrative of that data, it is a perfectly legitimate time to bring in anecdotes. 20-year-old groiper in the philosophy major who doesn't know when he has and hasn't won and doesn't know how to respond to the actual question asked of him. This is true of consensus. If you represent what the data is and you show you can comprehensively explain what they are saying, and then bring in not just that it is the consensus, but why it is the consensus, and discuss the compelling information of that consensus, that is the appropriate time to invoke consensus. To simply invoke consensus of, no, that's not true because of consensus, not of experts, but of quote unquote everyone else in the world, Eli, which was the fallacy that you used, wouldn't be it. There is now also a separate argument to be made where you can invoke consensus. Eli calls in and says, that's an incoherent worldview. And I can say, okay, well, it is the worldview that is currently communicated by the experts in this field, and it is the consensus among their field. And I have read the reasoning for their consensus and what their justification is and what experiments they've done and what testing they've done and seen the data behind it. That is what I find compelling compared to Eli with no relevant expertise calling in and saying, no, the earth is flat, which is the equivalent of what you're doing right now. So Eli,
Insane.
We can engage all of that. Now that you've had that explained to you, I only want to hear next. And if you will answer this, we will continue the argument otherwise in whatever direction you want. Will you admit that you were wrong when you said a argument from consensus fallacy is only a fallacy when used in a formal setting?
Check the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, and you'll know that I'm right. Just check it.
Okay, go ahead.
The Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy.
Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy fallacies. And now I can click it and I can open it.
Consensus.
Yep, I'm looking too. I'm gonna. I'm sorry.
Stop it.
Your mic is literally cutting in and out. I've typed in appeal to consensus,
Can you hear me now?
and that is not returning a chapter from this. So would you like to tell me the name of the article or the document in the specific Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy that I should be looking to? And keeping in mind, this will be a single document, but I'm looking forward to it. It literally could be written by you for all I know, but I doubt it. A 20-year-old Eli, I doubt it. But go ahead. What is the name of the article that I should be looking for?
So you can't spell encyclopedia, bro. Bro needs to go back to school, man.
Sir, if you had listened, Eli, if you listened, I am looking at the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. There is a search bar. I have typed in appeal to consensus. Now you're going to listen to the top 10 results that I got.
You already
since you can't listen.
You already agreed, dude. You already.
All right, so I've muted you now. You're going to listen to the 10 top results since you're saying that this is a failing of mine. I've typed in appeal to consensus, and I see evolutionary approaches to religion. That is Article 1. Casual approaches to scientific explanation. That is Article 2. Justice and access to healthcare. That is Article 3. That is coming up when I type in appeal to consensus. Article 4 is... Sorry, I scrolled past it. Contemporary approaches to the social construct. That is Article 4. Article 5, challenges to metaphysical realism. Obligations to oneself. Empirical approaches to altruism. Empirical approaches to moral character. Empirical approaches to moral responsibility. Phenomenological approaches to self-consciousness. I have now read for you the top 10 results that show up when I type into the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, when I type in appeal to consensus. Now, here's another thing. I've put appeal to consensus in quotes. It has searched every article, and apparently the phrase appeal to consensus does not appear in a single Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy article. So you are going to once again need to tell me the name of the article where I will find the proof. I'm doing your homework for you. And if you can't, I think you need to concede this debate. You've lost terribly.
Okay, I'm going to look for it because this is just getting out of hand. And
great, Eli. Come on, Eli. I'm ready for the name at any point. And name of the article. I'm waiting for it.
Okay. Well, I don't know why we're still talking about this when we can talk about literally infinite amount of different things. You already agreed with me that if all the
I just went ahead and muted you again.
I can't deal with the clipping. It's so bad.
I've explained to you literally where consensus comes in and doesn't. I didn't concede shit to you. I actually explained to you the difference. Consensus is not useless. The way you were using it was useless. And when you first brought it up, you weren't appealing to experts' consensus. You went with general population consensus, which means nothing. For example, most people believe a God exists, but they disagree on what God exists. And God doesn't exist. That's like the bummer one for you. So Eli, I'm giving you a minute to find the name of your article. I hope I find it. But it will, at the end of the day, be a single author's perspective, not actually definitive, because I've already checked other philosophical sources, none of which agree with you. They say the opposite. So then we'll have to evaluate which one is true. And then after all of it, we'll have to evaluate whether or not you're in a formal setting. Because Eli, I still propose that you are in a formal setting, in as much as anything is a formal setting, and therefore logical fallacies are not acceptable. So I'm going to give you another moment to find the name of the article so I can find it.
And then also, you can check Discord. Matt has a question for you in there. And I also put a link to what I think he's referencing. Mr. I can't figure out how to use a microphone on my phone. It's like, please have a not horrible phone.
Bum 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 na 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 na. Bum 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 bum. You think you found what he's referencing?
Yeah, but I'm not going to give it to him. So,
well, nor does it. I mean, this is just the page on fallacies, though. I don't know that this. Did you actually find somewhere in the article that said something similar to what he's saying, or this is just the article he's talking about?
I'm trying to go through it fairly quickly right now.
I mean, it's a PDF. I can have this thing analyzed by AI in seconds.
Do it.
Yeah,
I didn't download the PDF. I was just doing Control F and just like cycling through it.
This paper in any location claim that consensus fallacies are only fallacious in formal settings? And again, I hope it does. I hope he has a paper. Well, I gotta tell you though, let's see. Nowhere, and more specifically, a paper distinguishes formal versus informal fallacies, with ad populum and appeals to authority firmly placed amongst informal fallacies whose analysis eschews the symbolic language of formal logic, precisely because they concern natural language reasoning. When the paper talks about historical development of ad populum, ad verecundium, I don't know how to say that word correctly, and related ad arguments, it frames them as tools for analyzing everyday discourse, politics, rhetoric, and general argumentation, not as defects that arise only in formal symbolic arguments. You know what's funny is this almost suggests the opposite, which is actually not that it has to do with the setting, formal or informal, but that this specific author is making the claim that there are formal and informal fallacies, and that the ad populum and appeals to authority fall under the category of an informal fallacy as opposed to a formal fallacy. So if you were to even misinterpret that and say, therefore, the setting, it only matters in the formal setting versus informal setting, this would suggest these, if that was the mistake you made, they would be happening in the informal one. What does it declare is the distinction? I'm actually familiar with some some philosophy on the distinction between informal and formal, but let's find out what this paper defines it as. The distinction between an informal, it kind of touched on it with what we were saying before, and formal fallacy. I hope while you're on mute, you're looking up this thing that's going to wreck it. I think I was doing two songs at the same time. One was the one from Rhett and Link, and one was from okay. Formal fallacies are those that are readily seen to be instances of identifiable, invalid logical forms, while informal fallacies are best analyzed without using formal symbolic logic. So you're not going to be like, all right, let's, this is not a fallacy that emerged from a syllogism. This is not a fallacy that when we went into, you gave your second proposition as you were giving modal logic, your problem was proposition 2 and your use of necessary versus possible. You were fallacious there. It is essentially an informal fallacy, as if you say a sentence that is regular, we aren't actually using a logic base to make the argument. That's an informal. There wasn't a syllogism. A formal fallacy is when within is when using a logic form. So that's from the article that we think Eli is quoting from. We're going to get back on. That's pretty bad for you, Eli, because the informal versus formal setting for a person who's trying to school us from his alleged philosophy class has just 100% failed understanding the difference between formal and informal logic. Go ahead, Eli. Did you find us the source that counters what we're talking about?
So it looks like you just proved my point.
He wasn't listening at all.
Would be a subset. Appeal to authority would be a subset. Can I just finish? Don't.
Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead. No. Let him finish. It would be a subset of what?
A subset within the appeal to authority. There's a subset of that, which appeals to consensus. So appeal to consensus is actually a branch of appeal to authority.
I believe I said something similar earlier. Go ahead.
In regard to the appeal to authority is now.
You're now somehow too far from your phone. I'm hearing every other word. Jesus Christ. Find the middle.
Okay. Can you just
I am thankful it wasn't clipping.
and then I can talk to you guys?
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
You just don't know what you're doing with your phone or your mind.
So how did this prove you? Because I think, how did this prove it? What did this prove?
Appeal to authority.
Yes.
As a subset, which is appeal to consensus.
Yes. Is sometimes called argument ad populum.
Is not invalid in a certain sense.
And where are you reading that?
I was trying to say.
Excuse me. No, Eli. I already explained to you when appealing to authority isn't invalid. Excuse me, Eli. Eli, I already explained. Okay, Eli, you're still talking over me. Do we have to go back to muting? I already explained to you.
Can we just go on, bro? You're just scared.
No, we can't, Eli, because you won't admit. Eli, will you admit that your formal and informal setting thing was incorrect? And then we can move forward.
It wasn't really incorrect. It was just maybe.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
I just misspoke there. I misspoke.
No. You then defended it. You can't say you misspoke because you doubled down. Eli, we're not moving a step until you admit that you were wrong.
I was generally right there.
No, you weren't. Right. Eli, no, you weren't. You were the epitome of wrong. You said it has to do with setting, and setting has nothing to do with formal or informal logic, has nothing to do with it. And as a philosophy student, I would have expected you to know that, and has nothing to do with when a fallacy can or can't be called.
Okay. Well, how many degrees do you have, bro? None, right?
How many degrees do I have? Let's say 82.
Yeah.
You do know that that's a different fallacy, right? You shouldn't take me seriously because you don't respect the number of degrees I have. How many degrees do I have, Eli?
Let's talk about the Venn diagram. Do you know what the Venn diagram is?
No, Eli, not until you admit you were wrong about settings.
Dude.
Oh my God. This is just
no. All right. So that's Eli muted. We're about to drop Eli. Eli is dead to rights wrong, and his pride is such that he's probably absorbed some Andrew Tate and never admit you're wrong, even when it's true you're wrong. Never admit you're wrong. Him and Trump, even when you've been proven to be wrong, never admit you're wrong. Well, Eli, I don't have an interest in a conversation with a person who I admit I'm wrong anytime it happens.
It's not even difficult, honestly. I think that's a sign of somebody that's just able to engage in critical thinking.
Best of luck to you, Eli.
Or just stub your toe. That's how I feel about that one. That was just so bad.
That's conversation in the Discord. Okay. Eli, you can call back another day, but you've already proven that you are bad faith. You just have to admit you were wrong. And you kept desperately trying to go around, and you kept saying whenever we would prove you were wrong, well, you just proved me right. Well, you're not right.
Every time. Like, so then you're at that point, though, it's like you just shifted your entire argument in that case. If every time we were proving you correct, then you just move the goalpost.
I mean, and can we just move on is already kind of admitting it, but I needed to hear it from you to know that you were capable of good faith. And until you can get past this pride thing where when you are obviously wrong, you actually admit it. I mean, I ain't about it. I'm checking these numbers. I feel that one. Checking our troll, our trolldar, what we need here. It's
interesting that we have 2 people calling in from Colorado. 10 and 13 are both Colorado numbers.
Yeah, I'm from Colorado. You know I know.
I forget
10 is
if I'm being honest.
possibly a troll.
Yeah.
11 is not. And we'll see. 13 is probably not a troll.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. I know what area that number specifically is for, that area code is from.
Yeah.
It's a very red area.
Yeah, and they're using a fake name, but I don't care. People can use fake names. I don't care about that. I'm pretty sure they're using a name that has to do with like a city from the state they're from or something originally.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I don't think there's a Jackson, Colorado.
Well, shall we vibe check? Shall we just go through it in the order they're in?
Yeah, let's just do it.
Evan in Colorado, you are on the line with Jimmy and Ari. Evan, how are you? Evan, Colorado, you're on the line. Evan's waiting for the live show to catch up or doesn't realize that because he's using a VoIP service, he has to keep his browser active in his phone.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I sure do. What was the issue there, Evan?
Okay, sorry. I had put my microphone on mute for a second.
Oh,
gotcha.
that actually makes sense.
To make sure I wasn't, putting in. Anyway, how are you guys doing?
Just fine. How old are you, Evan?
I am 33.
Excellent. All right. And you're from, it says Colorado, pronouns. Who did you vote for in the last 3 elections?
The last 3 elections? So I did not vote in the last election. I don't think I voted in, I voted for in the primary for Bernie in the last election. And
what about Hillary versus Trump?
I'm sorry?
What about Hillary versus Trump? That would be the one prior.
I voted for Bernie in the primary.
But you didn't. So you have never voted actually in the general election. You've got 3 no votes, but you did some primaries. Got it. Okay. Yeah. In the state of Colorado, which is less purple these days, but was purple for those first 2 elections.
Regrettably so, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead, Evan. What's your point?
So I was just wanting to point out that I think the reason why we got Trump in the first place is because of the effectiveness of the Democrats and Democratic voters for voting for those people for voting for either Biden or Kamala Harris.
Well, not forget Biden or Kamala Harris because he didn't beat Biden. He only beat Kamala Harris. So in the case of Biden, you can't say this was the reasoning we got Trump. But for Kamala Harris,
sure. But in the lead up to that election, obviously, Biden was the leading candidate before it was decided that Kamala Harris was going to be taking over his place.
Okay. But it didn't happen. So we don't know what would have happened. I suspect he would have lost, but we don't know.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I agree. I agree. If the Democrats had merely had a primary instead of just giving the mantle to Kamala Harris, that primary process would have done a lot of things. One of those things it would have done is what it did for Biden. Bernie put a challenge up against him. It literally forced Biden to move to the left, and we ended up getting a more left than he would have been Biden. I'm not done. A more left than we would have had Biden because of that Bernie challenge and because they were able to see who they were saying no to. By not having a primary and just giving it to Kamala Harris, she just guessed it would be good to take a moderate turn and go to the right. That was fucking stupid. They didn't talk about issues enough. And I agree, the fecklessness is a good part of why we lost. If you just changed and had a primary and allowed a challenge to happen, even if Kamala Harris had won that primary, I think the odds of her winning overall would have gone way up.
But even then, and also, and what I was about to say, and I sorry to try to interrupt you before, but like if was Joe Biden really being pushed to the left at that point?
Yes, Joe
Bernie,
Biden.
really?
Yes, definitely. Joe Biden, after he got into office, put Bernie.
Really
excuse me, Evan. What happened to Bernie Sanders after the 2016 election?
He was pushed out by the DNC because
incorrect. After the 2016 election, what positions did he get?
Oh, well, positions. I don't actually remember too much about that.
He basically got put in charge of America's budget. Like literally Bernie Sanders, because of that primary under Biden and the fact that the Dems also won, the entire Congress got pushed to the left. Then Biden literally ran on populist Bernie ideas like forgiving student loans. He failed, but he ran on that. He started doing economic things. Even his infrastructure bill was basically him stealing Bernie lines about how we can give people jobs by rebuilding this country. By rebuilding this country's infrastructures, we will have good paying jobs for anybody who wants to work. That's literally him stealing Bernie. I don't know what you're talking about. Of course, Biden got pulled to the left by Bernie. We had fucking trans people in the White House. Yes, he got pushed to the left. Are you joking?
Yeah.
I mean, well, you can say that, you know, some things have gotten good in that sense, but also in the same sense that a lot of things have been going bad. And mainly when I'm talking about in terms of going bad, in terms of the economy, is what I'm really focused on.
Yes, I agree. Everything is, and the Democrats are also owned by billionaire oligarchs. Yes, you're right. I said 2020. I would say Hillary also got pushed to the left. And by the way, every time they have a primary, the Democrats win the popular vote, and they both did. Hillary won by a significant margin the popular vote. Unfortunately, in America, we have non-democratic elections. That's not how you win the election. Anyway, but I did mean 2020 when I said 2016. Biden was pulled to the left in 2020, not 2016, as somebody pointed out. So, Evan, as we're discussing all of these things, I agree. The fucking Democrats are owned by oligarchs, and Biden and Bernie pulling them to the left and doing things was good for it. And whatever candidate they put up next time is probably going to fucking suck. But if we have an actual challenging primary, hopefully with people like AOC and other actual, even further left, leftists in it, even if it ends up being Gavin Newsom, the Gavin Newsom we have today will be to the left of the Gavin Newsom or rather to the right of the Gavin Newsom who will run if the primary challenge is allowed to actually happen. And so but I agree with the Democrats serve the oligarchs. You are truly voting for the lesser of two evils. I'm sorry, you're not participating at all, and you're not
That's
helping.
Crazy to me.
So I don't know what is the point
here? Why
here?
is that crazy?
Not voting?
Yeah, because it's your right within this country. When you abstain, I almost wish we were like Australia.
Right to rather vote than not vote either.
Cool. That's your choice.
No one said it wasn't your right to do that. We're saying, yes, it's also your right to own a gun.
Exactly.
Does that mean it's good to own guns? And it's your right to not own a gun. Whether it's good or bad has nothing to do with whether it's your right. Evan, it is your right to vote or not vote. You're still a dick for not voting.
Yeah, and I was going to go into
why
kind of explaining.
For not voting.
Yeah, I was trying to go into explaining why, Evan. So a couple of things to start with, right? Is I wish that we had something in line that Australia has, where they have mandatory voting. I wish we had that kind of system, right, in the United States. Other thing,
especially sorry to cut you off, but
I don't think you are sorry because you cut off a lot.
I am sorry, but just to kind of go on to her point is that Australia's system is more efficient than ours. It's not just pass the point or pass the post rather voting system that we have in America.
I would enjoy someone telling me they're
efficient.
sorry for kicking me in the balls right before they kick me in the balls.
Yeah, that's.
It would feel very genuine.
Sorry about ready to do it. You know, that does happen on TV. I don't know if it happens in real life, but not for that
we're not on
specific
Jackass.
instance.
Go on.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So the reason why I would say that somebody that chooses, that has the ability to vote, looks at both candidates and then chooses to abstain from it is it's just, gosh, you choose. There's a word I'm looking for. Hold on.
Apathy?
No, that's close, but it would start with the letter P.
Penises?
No, oh my God. That was on purpose. And maybe I don't have it right. Maybe it's not the letter that starts with P. Maybe it starts with
While I
that.
think of it, I'll put it this, if you don't mind. Evan, are you a straight white man?
Yes.
It
Okay.
wasn't privilege.
I agree.
But
Well, privilege is pretty good.
He does have
Yeah,
privilege,
go ahead and
that's
finish.
true.
I'll come back to my straight white man point in a moment.
You're choosing to allow harm to occur. When you choose not to vote and you know that somebody can potentially just fuck up everything, because there was only one person in the last 3 elections that literally campaigned with hateful rhetoric from the get, and that was Donald Trump. So when you choose not to vote, you are an asshole because you said, we'll just let it go, right? And I don't think...
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I don't think that was the great choice. So I like reading your thing. I personally don't agree with blue no matter who for what you stated. I don't agree with that because I believe in reading policies, because just like the Republican parties have rhinos, the Democrats have dinos.
We have a time, though, for not blue no matter who. It's called the primaries.
Yeah, that too.
I don't campaign I campaigned for Jasmine Crockett knowing Tallarico was going to win it.
Going to win, which I am curious. Do you know when your primaries are in Colorado?
For the general election?
Yeah, I know when they are.
Election, I want to say around like spring, generally.
March.
I don't know.
Nice.
I think it's
June
March.
30th.
Yeah.
Is it June? Did they push it
June.
back?
Mhm.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Maybe I voted early before, because I definitely voted in Colorado every March.
I'm aware of my my state's kind of like local election proceedings, because I get the mail ballots. I'm a mail-in ballot voter, but at the same rate. So if we're talking about like me not voting, like rather than and also in the same vein of like voting blue no matter who, if I were not to vote for a Democrat, then who should I vote it for? Both in the primary and the general
No,
election.
you should. No. Generally, you should have voted for the Democrat. Evan, let's put it easily.
Why?
Okay, you're a straight white.
Why?
Hang on, Evan. I'm gonna tell you why.
You could vote. Go ahead.
Great. You are a straight white man, correct?
Yes.
Do you care about people who are not? You're about to find out. Do you care about people who are not straight white men?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you care about people who are not cisgender?
Absolutely.
Are people's lives worse because Donald Trump is president, not just now, but for the foreseeable future, as opposed to Kamala Harris?
I know where you're going with this, but absolutely, you're right. Yes.
Great.
Okay.
Should you have put in at least a reasonable amount of effort to preventing that harm to those well, let's do that first. Should you have put in at least a reasonable amount of effort to get the less harmful situation for non-cis straight white men?
Yes, I should have, but where you're kind of leading to that. My vote during an election leads to that, which I don't think it really does.
It does. In fact, Evan. So I'm going here. Hey, Evan.
Go ahead.
Evan. That's where I'm going with it, baby. The blue, no matter, or rather the counter blue, no matter who, the actual thing that you are participating in, that starts with you not voting only starts with you not voting. It is an entire community of people who think the way you think. And as a result of seeing their activity online, while you can say Colorado went for the quote unquote correct choice all 3 times, I can say you participating in a rhetoric and a community supported people deciding to abstain from voting in states where it wasn't definitely going to go blue. And I will also point out, you didn't vote in 2016 when it was also purple, not solidly blue. So that is why, because you aren't just participating in a single act and keeping it to yourself. You're calling this show trying to defend it. You are actually actively campaigning against reduction harm by these arguments, by participating in the culture of, no, they didn't earn it, so I won't vote. And Evan, do you think that you can really tell me that your participation in that culture did not contribute to at least one, if not many people who then voted or didn't vote in states that weren't swing states?
Well, at that point, we're talking about voting in a system where only really 8 states matter.
I feel you're not at. Yep, great. Those 8 states. You can answer those questions even if you only believe in those.
Matters.
Great.
The word I was.
Great.
This is actually. This actually fits. Ties back into what the word I was thinking of. It's actually complacency.
Yes, Evan, great. Just think about those 8 states and those districts.
So
you can just restrain it to those. My question remains the same. And this is a measurable thing. Do you know what's actually more harmful than a person thinking my vote doesn't count? Is if a person accepts it, that usually people who accept that usually is representative of a broader culture of people who believe. So the more people broadcast, my vote doesn't count anyway, the more outcomes of elections actually change. Yep. So when a significant enough collective of people go, my vote doesn't count anyway, you literally change the outcomes of elections, because it isn't the actual individual vote that needs to count. It is a culture and an attitude. So you saying, yeah, but then it's only the 8 states. Great. Did what you participated in and are participating in right now have the potential to reach individuals in those districts and states where the only place it matters are, and tell them essentially that there are people like you who are out there who support them not voting? Or Evan, would you like to say right now, despite the fact that I'm defending this, if you are in an actual swing state, you are evil for not voting for Kamala Harris?
How much I'm not too much politically savvy on how much of a swing state Colorado has been since the last 10 years.
Okay, so take my second one. Are you willing to say to a person who lives in Pennsylvania that if they didn't vote for Kamala Harris in Pennsylvania, they made an evil choice by abstaining?
I'm sorry.
I would classify Colorado as a swing state because half of their representatives in the House are Republican.
Yeah, it's very unlikely they're not going to general election, but I agree you shouldn't have adopted that attitude already, Evan. It is premature. But the thing I'm asking you to say is if you live in Pennsylvania and you didn't vote for Kamala Harris, you made an evil choice.
Why is that an evil choice?
Because that is your argument is dependent on that it's not evil. Excuse me, Evan.
Nothing to shore up anything that has happened for any of the other people.
Great, Evan. Evan. Hey, Evan. To
do anything for either workers or trans people or anything else.
Evan, because moments ago, when I asked you whether or not harm is coming to the communities you say you care about that are non-straight, cis, white men, you didn't say yes. You said absolutely, emphatically, that it is worse for them because Kamala Harris didn't win. Those are the 2 choices. Harris or Trump on election day, those were the 2 choices. So all I'm asking you to admit all I'm asking you is be consistent. If you lived in a place where you had an opportunity to stop that harm and you chose not to vote, you were evil for abstaining from voting. Or at least you made an evil choice.
Why is that evil?
I just explained it to you. I just explained it to you. I just explained it to you because you chose not to participate.
I would say it'd be evil for voting for Trump as opposed to not voting.
No.
That would certainly
non-voters.
be the case.
There's no difference.
Evan, non-voters, right? Because this is something that the right talks about more than the left does.
Voter shaming is what it's become.
Oh, excellent. Yes, definitely, Evan. Definitely. We should voter shame because, Evan, now I'm going to really
muted.
voter shame you. Evan, you are in a purple state and I'm a queer man. You voted, you chose to abstain from voting against harm toward me. And so I can't speak for trans people. I can't speak for people of color. I can't speak for any of the people that you aren't except queer people. Don't tell another queer person you care about them because you abstained not only from not voting yourself, you won't condemn people not voting in swing states, which means you also didn't participate in 08, or rather in 24, in campaigning in those states. I gave 2 campaigns in those states. I gave to Raphael Warnock to help. Obviously, that doesn't directly help Kamala Harris win Georgia, but it does help overall. If you have more Democrats coming out for Raphael, it can by transfer. I gave to the Harris campaign. You clearly abstained from supporting in all ways. Abstaining. What is the fucking quote? Age as old as time. Evil is when good men do nothing. All it takes for evil to succeed is for good men to do nothing. Evan, you did nothing. You are not a good man, and you do not care about queer people.
And that's why, and Jimmy's already explained this to you, that's why you not voting does show a lack of care and empathy towards those people, because you made a personal choice to not engage in casting a vote. And as we saw, especially if you were in a real swing state that could have gone either way for the seat of the presidency with the electoral college votes, that would have been a big issue. But again, Colorado is not that far off from having gone red. I think it was 2004 was the last time they went red. Still not that far off. It's only been 22 years. Not that long. But you chose not to care. You showed complacency. You're fine with the status quo, letting things continue as they were, what you believe them to be, while listening to somebody spew hate. And then your only rhetoric towards that, or your only retort towards that, is what have the Democrats done to make things better? Well, sir, it's not just about what have the Democrats done to make things better. It's how has the Republican Party demonstrably made things worse for our country. Unfettered capitalism with deregulation is where we're getting to things that are just going out of proportion. We have companies that admit it, grocery stores that admit it, to price gouging their customers during the previous administration. And that's a fucking problem that should have been stopped. But this all stems from Republicans deregulating the majority of the time. Not saying that Democrats don't do it, but they do it the majority of the time. Donald Trump campaigned on deregulation and hateful rhetoric, and that wasn't enough of a deal breaker to get your complacent white privileged ass off the couch and out the door, which Colorado primarily uses mail-in voting. You didn't even have to go outside.
Literally so easy to vote in Colorado.
I know, I miss it. You just put it in the mail. Dude, you didn't even have to put in any effort except for walking to your mailbox twice to
you didn't
grab
care
it
about,
and then go back out.
We have a person in the chat. You apparently did not care that she was going to lose trans healthcare. Again, this is more than voting. And I already blame the Democratic Party the most, because the Democratic Party is the most responsible, because they know people like you, Evan, exist. And they just ignored it and did other tactics and didn't try to break through in meaningful ways. Not because you're reasonable, because you have to deal with unreasonable people like you, Evan. Of course, you also abstained from when they actually did lose in primaries. So, Evan, we're going to let you respond. But at the end of the day, we've already explained to you why it's evil, and you've tried to move the goalpost like 4 times now.
Tried to move the goalpost at all?
Yes, you did.
You did.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. I'm sorry.
You did move the goalpost. Would you like it explained to you how you did?
Sure, yes. Go ahead.
Sure. Originally, you asked how it was evil. It was laid out for you. Instead of rebutting how it was evil, you then switched to, why should I vote for a Democrat when? And then you gave your economic reasons. That is a movement of the goalpost. You don't want to address the fact that your evil was met. The goalpost was at, how is it evil? It was explained to you. You didn't rebut or deny that it was evil. You then moved it to a totally different topic. That is textbook moving the goalpost.
I'm sorry. What? That? What, how is it evil for me to move it to economics? Because
no, I didn't say it was evil. Your question, your challenge was, how is it evil to not have voted for Kamala Harris and not participated in her campaign to win? I explained to you how it was evil. Instead of rebutting what I said made it evil, you, without changing a beat, as though it was still the argument, switched it to, why should I vote for Democrats? And then you started putting your complaint list. You skipped over the conversation we had about it being evil and tried to move to a new one. You basically, in a way, it's conceding that you've lost the evil argument, and you wanted to move it to a place you were more comfortable in a way that you thought would put us on the defensive. Whether you wish you had done that, Evan, doesn't matter. You textbook moved the goalpost to not from, you need to show how the original goalpost was, how is this evil? And then you moved it to, the Democrats haven't given us the economic things I care about.
Yeah, well, why I mentioned moving the goalposts was because economics is necessarily a fucking, excuse me for cursing, and I know you guys don't care about, cursing, but economics is necessarily a queer issue, or
Evan,
like a transition.
Hey, Evan. Evan. It doesn't.
And queer people are mostly like affected by economics.
Evan, that was not the argument you made. And you still were moving the goalpost. You were still moving the goalpost. You can say
that's not moving the goalpost.
Excuse me, Evan. Yes, it is.
I'm sorry,
Evan.
It's really not.
I'm going to explain it to you whether it kills you or not. Okay, so I muted you again to explain it to you. Moving the goalpost is not moving the goalpost if the other point is also valid. We're on one argument. You began responding as though you were rebutting that argument, and instead of responding to that argument, you made a new argument that was different, but your tone, the way you presented it, you were trying to act as though it was connected. So you did not concede the evil argument where I explained it to you about how you participated in not just preventing, but a result of your actions, you are partially responsible for more harm to non-cis het white men. You're responsible for that. And we had that conversation about it. And instead of rebutting that actual point, saying anything was wrong with it or anything, you tried to shift to a different argument. Even if that different argument is correct, even if it is valid, even if that argument has words in common, like queer, like trans, with the first argument, it was a distinct, separate argument that was not a rebuttal of the first argument. That is textbook moving the goalpost. It might seem a little more nuanced than simply going like, you're gay if you listen to 100 Neil Diamond songs. Okay, but you've listened to, actually I meant 150. Maybe it's not as cliche as that, but you have moved the goalpost of why it is, the goal is, we're explaining to you why you should have voted when you didn't. And the argument was around the evil. That's where you put the goalpost down. You need to demonstrate to me why it was evil. I did. And now, instead of rebutting it and accepting that you did it, you wanted to move it to a new argument. That's moving the goalpost, my guy. Go ahead, Evan. We are probably going to move on soon because we only have 45 minutes left and we have a few calls waiting.
You're unmuted.
Oh, I am. Sorry. Okay. So, I'm sorry. I don't know how the meeting system works on this. I only hear the beep when I'm unmuted, I guess. So what I was trying to tell you guys is that I was not trying to make it a moving a goalpost or anything.
Okay, but you acknowledge you did, even if you weren't trying, right?
What is Jimmy, what is your gripe with what I'm saying with how I'm voting?
I'll tell you. I think you're using bad phrase. I think you're using bad faith phrasing to like the last caller, though not nearly as evil as the last caller. I think you are trying to avoid responsibility for mistakes you're making and bad arguments you're making, and that you're changing
really
things.
I want you to know
okay,
that.
then Evan, will you just simply admit I didn't mean to, but yeah, I moved the goalpost. I don't agree with your argument, but I'd like to make a different one now.
I don't believe that I was moving the goalposts.
All right. Well, Evan, I've explained to you why it was moving the goalpost. Please explain to me how you weren't.
Because I was trying to do that when I was muted, but I didn't know that. When I was
then you were trying to talk when I was talking, so you were not trying to listen, which is part of why I think you're bad faith, because you keep doing that.
I apologize. I apologize for that. I was trying to listen while I'm arguing.
Yeah, that's how it works. I also try to listen while I talk.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was being sarcastic. That's a weird time to say exactly. I was kind of making fun of you.
I know, it's fine.
Evan, can I propose something here?
Go ahead.
How about we talk again next Tuesday? How about you hang up, you take a minute, maybe wait till tomorrow, and you go back and you watch your call? Because the fact of the matter is, Evan, if you're going to be more involved, and you're going to hopefully in the future get more involved, if you really cannot recognize that you moved the goalpost, I don't know how to take it from here, because we're not existing even in the same reality. I think, Evan, right now you're feeling defensive because you've been called out.
Valid.
And I've told you something you did was evil. I think you should take a minute, sleep on it, watch the video, evaluate. And I have a feeling, Evan, because of, I think I saw some honesty in other places from you, that once those walls come down, I kind of think you're going to watch it and go, fuck, I moved the goalpost. I should just admit it. I admit it. I moved the goalpost. I'm going to call back in after I've admitted it. I'm not so defensive. Mm-hmm. I think that's what's going to happen, Evan.
And real quick, before you drop off, Evan, do you know what congressional district you're in?
In Colorado, I kind of don't really necessarily know, because the specific area that I'm living in is kind of been changing county lines. Was it? Sorry?
What's the name of the city or town?
It's around Denver/Lakewood.
That's half. Like that's half their districts.
But he's saying Lakewood.
Yeah,
Lakewood.
I used to live in Lakewood. I lived over in that Belmar area in Lakewood.
Yeah. It's been like
7. Okay.
Like the past few years.
So right now you're in District 7, which you have Brittany Peterson as your incumbent for the House of Representatives. I would advise you to look at her policy, see if she's someone that you agree with. I don't believe she has a primary. Look at her policies. At least vote in your midterms, and at least your local elections, because that's actually what changes stuff around you.
Sure. Yeah. No. I know. And I also want to preface this that all my years of being politically active, I've always advocated for voting down ticket. Vote for your congressional elections, vote for your local elections, vote for any local advocacy in any district that you're in any state that you're in.
Why didn't you vote locally during the general elections?
Well, I did. I just didn't vote in the general elections.
So you only left the president field empty? You turned in a ballot and you decided to leave that field empty despite knowing the harm and create. All right. we're just going to be redoing it. Go back and watch the call.
I know. Yeah.
Go back and watch the call and see how you feel. Okay.
I will, Jimmy. And also on that line, I want you to know that I'm trying not to be like disingenuous or a troll caller or anything. Like I'm calling in genuinely. For the beliefs I'm talking about.
I think that's the intentions a lot of people come in with, but let's be honest. As a straight white man, cishet straight white man, even as a progressive, left-leaning cishet straight white man, you will know this is true of your past too. In the past, when people called you out as sexist, homophobic, transphobic, or any of the label racist, your first reaction for a while is always going to be to reject it. And you're always going to act defensively at that time. It is a rare skill to learn. And I don't think I have it fully, but I've admitted it when I've been on air with Javon, and Javon's like, well, you just kind of did a racism. And I've gone, oh, fuck, yeah, I did. You know that if that's the accusations that's behind it, you're going to need a minute to evaluate before you'd even be willing to admit it. That's what being a cishet white man's like. That's what I used to live like before I finally came out. And even still as a cis white man, I reach it. I hit those things. So you need to sit with it. You need to think about it. And you need to think, once that was the accusation and that is what the accusation was, you turned your back on people, and you were able to do so because you are a part of the most privileged class, and you aren't going to have to see the suffering that you are causing. When that's the accusation, of course, your brain is going to shut down. It's going to go into defensive mode. And when you call back, you'll need to have thought about it in advance, whether or not that's going to be something you're going to be able to adjust for. Because once that's where it took a turn, Evan, I feel that your listening ended. And I think you're going to keep finding, Evan, that if you engage in this way, you're going to find I am used to people hating me and doing hateful things for me. You're going to find that people of color, trans people and queer people are going to go, who know you abstain from voting, they're going to think you're not on their side. They're going to think that you don't care much for them.
In fact, I know that's true. I still have plenty of friends in Colorado that are very outspoken about people who didn't vote.
Yeah, live chat's full of them. We have a lot of trans people, and they're pretty upset that you didn't care that they were going to lose their health care. Care enough to go and campaign and try and prevent it. So, go watch the call. We'll talk about it next Tuesday. Go ahead, very quickly.
Before I go.
Yes.
I'm going to grab an ibuprofen.
Say that you are definitely right on and everything that you're saying about, like, reflection and everything. And I'm also not a very transphobic person. I used to spout transphobic talking points before within my friends group, and then I was watching The Line regularly, and that disabused me of that notion of those things.
Good.
And then and I was also going on these lives. That's why I'm calling in now to disabuse me of other notions I might have of the Democratic Party or anything else, or of left-leaning views.
Yeah, Evan, I hope you keep following that, because just because you aren't, you don't think you should be described as a transphobic man, I am still capable of transphobia. I'm sure I do it by accident all the time. Sure. Jesus Christ, I have to actively not be a misogynist. It is so easy to slip into misogyny. Right. My brain wants to be a misogynist. That is our default state in this society. And so things like that shit pass through. Whenever I watch women mad at each other, the misogyny, like the way women fight each other, is terrifying. I would rather fight a man because he'll only kill me. Perhaps. Too, yes. I'd rather only be afraid of being killed. Obviously, there's another thing that some of them would potentially do that's also pretty horrible. The way women fight terrify me, but it is easy. But all right, it's easy to be a white cis het man who loves people of color and wants to fight for them, and is not transphobic and wants to fight for trans people, and is not sexist and wants to fight for, and yet in your head is the misogyny, the sexism, the transphobia, the homophobia. I'm still homophobic, and I'm a fucking queer. I still do homophobias all the time. They're still clear. I have to stop myself because I will judge the amount of gay that a person presents. And I'll think in my head, like, tune it down, dude. That's too much gay. That stuff still rises up. This is who we are. And people who act better than other people and are like, oh, he's admitting blah, 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 blah. Those are just the fucking liars. We're all fucking bigoted. You have to actively work against your bigotry and address that your bigotry isn't true or isn't right. It isn't correct. Yes, your bigotry exists. Bigotry is a thing you fight against every day. And those are the people you should love because they're actually fighting and addressing it. And so watch back the call, Evan, evaluate, and we'll talk to you hopefully next Tuesday. Cool.
All righty. Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Bye, man.
Eli, you're calling back. Does this mean you're willing to admit that you were wrong about formal versus informal settings?
If you are willing to admit you were wrong about the appeal to argument fallacy or the appeal to authority is also not wrong in every single circumstance, which you did say.
No, I didn't. I didn't say. In fact, I actually gave you the nuance. And so I'm muting you already to let you know we're going to let you go. Because also, if your value is, I will only admit I'm wrong if the other person admits they're wrong, and then I'm going to lie about their position. Because you said it's wrong in every single case. No, I didn't. I actually laid out when consensus is valid to cite. I am not responsible for your not listening. So Eli, no, we won't be taking the call tonight. Maybe a different day we won't even bring up. But as far as today goes, I will admit I'm wrong. If you'll admit you're wrong at a time I wasn't wrong. Legitimately, I laid out why you were wrong, how you were wrong, by your own source. How you were wrong. You never laid out anything in the inverse. You're just saying admit you are wrong about something that you said, and it wasn't a thing I said. So, Eli, we're done with you tonight.
Yes, I think Eli has actual brain rot from whomever bullshit he's been listening to. Also, I'm pretty sure his mic clipping gave me a headache. I had to go get some ibuprofen. I'm like, fuck. Like, creeped on slowly. That's not it.
All right. Chris in Illinois. You are on the line with Ari and Jimmy.
Hi, how's it going?
Just fine. How old are you, Chris?
I am 29.
Excellent. Who'd you vote for in the last 3 elections?
Last one, I did Harris, and then Biden and Hillary.
Cool. Okay. All right. What point are you calling in to make?
Yeah. So I know earlier in the call you were talking about the whole sorry, my dog. The whole ballroom assassination thing, conspiracy theory.
Is that a golden?
And, yeah, it is actually. Good ear. Yeah.
That's impressive, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Dang.
That is. And now next you got to tell how old he is.
Ooh, I bet I can actually. Based on that bark, no, Goldens don't change as much as other breeds do when they get older. I'm gonna go with 6 years old though.
Oh no, he's a little puppy. He's not even a year old.
Oh, I'm blaming the phone system. That definitely cut out some of the high end. I'd have been able to hear a puppy. There's no way I wouldn't have recognized a puppy usually. But yeah, go on. Go ahead.
Yeah, so he's also now that I'm involved in a conversation that he's not involved in, he really wants attention now.
It.
So
well, I kind of want him to be involved. I fucking love Goldens. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
He's not that great of a conversationalist. He just likes to
All right, fair enough.
All
right.
That's true.
But yeah. I guess so the idea behind the conspiracy theory as I understand it. Now, just to clarify, I consider myself a skeptic on it. I'm not convinced by it, but I'm not convinced that it's unreasonable to have that position given some of the circumstantial evidence or arguments, whatever you want to call it, that I've heard put forth. But Jimmy, I heard that you seem pretty confident about it not being a reasonable position, which is why I'm
correct.
Curious to hear your arguments.
So Chris, let me be clear. I do not claim it wasn't staged. I do not believe it was staged, and I actually think there is good supporting evidence that it was not. But I do not claim it is definitively true that it wasn't staged. What I do say is conspiracy theories look a certain way. And for this conspiracy to be true, not only did they have to pull off the conspiracy, they had to make it look like one. They had to make it look easy to identify in the way that conspiracy-minded people like QAnon, people like very religious people who tend to fall for conspiracies, they laid it out. It would mean we wanted conspiracy theorists to go this way because it is all the same type of reason. When you say circumstance, but it's what a coincidence. What a coincidence. Coincidence this, coincidence that. Every event that ever happens, whether something exciting happens or not. In fact, I would argue if we went back and we covered all the media coverage of other things and just said, okay, let's just lie to ourselves and say a shooting happened at this event. Can we go find evidence that makes it a conspiracy at events we know shootings didn't happen? We go lie to a conspiracy theorist and say it did. They'd be able to go find that stuff. And so when it comes to this, I think our side looks like fucking shit when we jump to the same type of conspiracy-minded, like, here is here's the hidden plot. Here's how all the things reach together. Here are the co-conspirators. Here are the people who knew. Here's the quote Caroline Leavitt said beforehand. The thing of it is that it doesn't look. And in fact, as far as the things that then happen after, nothing that happened after that they're saying is a smoking gun is inconsistent with Donald Trump. Donald Trump will never waste a tragedy. So regardless, let's say the shooting wasn't staged. Would you say it would be less likely in your world where you think it was staged? Is it less likely that if it wasn't staged that Donald Trump would have said, ballroom, gonna use this to sell the ballroom?
I mean, maybe. I think that there is like
what do you mean,
some
maybe?
Argument that, well, okay, like I do agree with you that Trump wouldn't waste a tragedy. It's more so that it seems that
this
the
specific one. This specific tragedy. Tell me what feature of the conspiracy that you think points to it is not what you would have expected to happen if it wasn't staged.
More so the narrative that they're going with, like specifically that what they want would be like the construction of the ballroom, as opposed to the more consistent narrative that they've been pushing this past like couple years of the left being like violent lunatics. Like,
in what way do you think they're not doing both?
Well,
they're assuredly doing the second one.
Yeah, I think they are doing both, but I think that they're pushing one more than the other.
You're definitely incorrect, because now we also know that the Republicans do push. You want to talk about conspiracies we have proof of? They do push coordinated Twitter posts, and they have all the same creators in the Laura Loomer circle post around the same time, the same stuff. And that's what they're all posting over there. The White House has clearly told the Twitter people, told the influencers to go push the narrative that the left are the violent ones. I don't know what you mean that that's not getting pushed. Of course they went with Donald Trump wants the ballroom and he wants taxpayers to pay for it. He was going to do it anyway. This very conveniently fell in his lap. And so now he gets to sell, and you get people like Meghan McCain who hates Trump going out and saying, don't you dare say we don't need the ballroom now. I still say it. I don't think we need balls in many ways. And so as far as, again, Chris, what I need from you is what feature of this wouldn't have happened if it weren't staged, that this thing only makes sense, that they went with this narrative, that they went with this thing, that this person would say this thing only makes sense if it's a conspiracy. And if it isn't staged, you wouldn't be likely to see all of the same stuff.
As far as I'm aware, the best arguments for why it's a conspiracy are all circumstantial. So I don't think that there is any.
And so I think what you're saying then is everything's circumstantial, and at a certain point, the quantity of circumstantial stuff becomes conspicuous. That is definitively what makes a conspiracy theory a conspiracy theory.
Sure,
that's
but,
literally
conspiracy theories like
that's what they run on. That many coincidences is literally what makes a conspiracy theory. That's like the core. That's your like distinguishing feature of it's a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think though that like with, well, I mean, I guess technically a conspiracy theory is more just that like it's you're theorizing that some group has conspired to do something.
Yes, like, you know what we're talking about. We're using the colloquial version, meaning conspiracies that aren't actually true or obviously true, but are being stated to be obviously true.
Yeah, that's fair.
You would have an easier time getting me to believe that somebody saw this threat and didn't take it seriously. I wouldn't say you would convince me in any way of like they actually chose to let it through, but that somebody incompetently let it through in some way, that would be easier for me to go, that seems reasonable, because it seems unreasonable to believe that nobody caught wind of this guy who was staying in the hotel.
Quite odd.
But the actual I mean, Chris, have you seen the evidence people are saying is proof it's staged? Literally, there's an 80-year-old man who doesn't react to audio of gunshots. Oh my God, I have the perfect fucking thing for this. Doesn't react to gunshots that happened in the other room. I'm not even joking.
What?
Last night, our neighbor today came over and was like, did you hear what happened? And I'm not going to tell you relative to where I am, but she literally was like, the cops had to come out last night at around whatever time. Again, people are crazy with the way they dock, so I'm going to be a little vague on it. But basically said, cops came out last night and because there was a rattlesnake and they shot the rattlesnake. When I tell you the fact that they shot the rattlesnake at a time and in a location where I absolutely would have heard a gunshot and didn't. I literally, to my partner, was like, that's alarming. That tells me if a murderer ever shows up, I don't think that anybody would know. I don't think they would hear that we got murdered if it was with a gun. Like, you don't even need a silencer to murder me, guys. I just don't know that I should be broadcasting that, but we're actually moving soon anyway. So
insane.
Like, that's one of the ones. Does this look like a man who thinks he's in danger? The man doesn't even know that there were gunshots going off. And here's the actual thing I've put up, Chris, on Threads, and nobody reposted it because nobody likes hearing it wasn't a conspiracy. The reason why it seems impossible to not be a conspiracy is, Chris, you and most of America have fallen for propaganda. For the last several decades, we have been seeing all over TV that the Secret Service is very competent. We have been seeing everywhere that the FBI, the CIA, and police are all extremely competent. And the unfortunate reality that I hope I don't get banned for saying is it probably isn't as hard to kill a political person in this country as most people think it is. Doesn't mean it's easy, but it also probably isn't as hard. Now, keep in mind, the guy got stopped. So they're not fully incompetent, but the point where he got stopped doesn't bode well. The main reason why this feels impossible is because you think cops are better at their job than they are, because media has presented you as though the Secret Service has all the technology of the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's why it feels impossible. It isn't. They're just dudes. You could be Secret Service and you could make a mistake.
I mean, like, I don't think that the cops are competent at all, but I do get your point.
Palantir, unfortunately, is the closest to, and that shit fucking keeps me up at night. I wouldn't say they're competent, but they're spying. They know where you are. They know when you jerk off. Not you, Chris. A different Chris.
That's funny.
Yeah. I guess I have a question about one of the other things, if you're interested in that one. There was an argument made that, like, in the manifesto, which was really cringy to read, by the way. God, that was, like, embarrassing. At one point, he said something like, wow, it really was easy to sneak past all of this security, which I guess is supposed to be an argument in favor that,
that's probably a fake manifesto. We haven't seen, I don't know if what you're seeing was the real one. We've only heard reports from the reporters who have read it. We don't have the full manifesto, unless something happened today I don't know about.
The only one I've seen is the one that was, of course, reposted by the New York Post. That doesn't bode well.
Is it the full one? Did they throw out the full one?
Send it to you. It was early this morning.
Yeah, I'll take that back.
I gotta scroll. There it is.
I don't see, looking it up so far, we don't have the full release. So what you're saying might be in there. The manifesto is one of the reasons why I don't think it was staged, by the way, like evidence it wasn't staged, because it called Trump a rapist and a pedophile instead of using anti-Semitic tropes to attack the war in Iran, or something else that they could more easily run on the ballroom. But I think it would be the war in Iran, or protecting the Cuban people, or, okay, the fact that there's a record of this guy hating Hassan Piker, when that's who the right is very afraid of right now, is an actual left emerging as a voter base. That would be in my column of why it wasn't staged. But then a conspiracy theorist is going to go, of course they did that, so you would think it wasn't staged. That's the problem you run up against. They think that Donald Trump is somehow the dumbest president and best conspirator of all time.
It's insane. I think my biggest point to why it's the conspiracy theories fall flat with it being staged is he would have gotten closer.
Yeah, especially if you think that the shot that he took to the ear that skimmed his ear back in Butler was also staged. They can pull that off, but they can't pull off. I don't know, a bloody nose that somehow magically heals. That doesn't mean conspiracies don't emerge from these things, though, because clearly there is some conspiracy that isn't untrue at play surrounding, I don't think the Butler thing was staged, but our understanding of the bullet that made contact with his ear, clearly he very opportunistically was like, ooh, I'm going to fucking milk the shit out of this. And then got bored of doing so one day and was just literally like, yeah, we should keep the conspiracy going, but I'm just going to pull the bandage off now. If he was a fucking, if that thing had been staged, that motherfucker would have gone and got his ear modified. He made it too obvious he didn't take that good of a hit. Anyway, I've been talking
I just know that, I mean, yeah, but also I haven't talked much either. That's just a me thing sometimes. What I was going to say is my favorite thing to have typed out during that time was maxi pads for Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it looked like a pad on his ear.
It did. It looked like a liner.
Yeah. And then people were literally wearing what looked like actual period pads on their ears. So weird.
Bubba doesn't know. Bubba put that thing on because someone handed it to him. He doesn't know. Oh man, like, if I could have known to go and sell Patriot bandages and not tell them I'm selling them panty liners, that would have been so fucking funny. Anyway, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I guess the only other like thing that might be worth like talking about with the arguments that are presented is like that weird cutout like in the Fox News, like one of the Fox News interviews, like someone who was like present at the event was testifying, or well, testifying is a weird. Anyway, like they're talking about like how they had a conversation with some other person there, and then it got cut off or something.
Caroline Lovett's husband.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
I don't have enough information to respond to what you just said.
Oh, you haven't seen that video?
No, I have. I don't remember exactly what it said, so I'm looking it up.
Oh.
What's the new the golden puppy's name again?
His name is Ollie.
Ollie. That's cute. So basically what happened was...
Give Ollie a boop for me.
A boop.
Just a little boop.
On the snoot. So the lady was like, yeah, so I'm sitting next to Caroline Levitt's husband, and he leans over to me, and he's just like, you need to be protected, and then it just like cut the feed.
Well, I just found it. It's you need to be ready for what's about to happen.
Oh, that's what it is, yeah.
Literally, this reminds me of the way there are people who will call in and say, God exists because the girl who was killed in Columbine kept saying all the time to people, this year's going to be a big year. I can't tell you how, I don't know, but God has revealed to me this year is going to be a huge year, which is just how teenage girls sometimes fucking talk, especially the religiously culty ones. And yet they were like, so that's proof. You need to be ready for what's about to happen. Literally, she was saying beforehand, tonight it's going to be big. There's going to be shots fired. How do you not? How is your first thought not? She literally helped write the jokes that he knows the jokes he's going to say. And he's saying like, you're not ready for how hard he's about to go with the press. How is it that has to mean he is saying you need to be ready for what's about to happen? Specifically that a man's about to try and rush in the place. And by the way, he's going to immediately hit the ground after he hears gunshots and not even try to the dude gave up so fast.
Yeah. Even though if you watch the movie, he
I just remember
Naruto ran past all of those people.
I just remembered that 3 hours from now is the next episode of The Boys. Sorry. Okay. Chris, I don't find that compelling. This is conspiracy. That is conspiracy. Well, he said you need to be ready for what's about to happen. Okay. What did he mean by it? And why are you sure he means the shooting?
I think it was more so the response of Fox than the statement itself, like the two in conjunction with each other. Like, I guess the conspiracy thinking there is that some of the higher ups at Fox don't want, people talking about this, and so they cut it off.
But you're talking about a cutaway from before the shooting happened when the guys were just talking to each other. They weren't giving a report. Am I remembering wrong? Did they not just cut away because the video that they fed to was boring?
No, they just said that they were having technical difficulties, which I mean, legitimately happens to everybody, including... Never
happens.
Never heard of it?
Channel.
Oh, okay.
On this channel.
Not even once.
We weren't almost late because we had to reset the computer last minute. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, I was just referring back to Friday.
What are you talking about? The Friday show was the perfect show with the perfect calls. Everything went off. It was so hot. Everything went off without a hitch. YouTube, the ratings set record ratings. It was record ratings. And you're here saying it was a problem because you're a nasty woman. You're nasty. You know, you say nasty things. I've never seen you smile. I've known you for 10 years. I've never seen you smile. Anyway, Chris, I don't really have much more for you. Do you have any other piece of evidence that you want to go like, I'm not trying to shit on you. I'll just tell you why I don't find anything compelling.
No, yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not really like fully convinced by this either. It was more so that I can see the argument in some areas. I can see why, like, you know,
where don't you see the argument? Where do you think that what the things I'm presenting to you aren't strong enough, or would you say that this call has actually made you feel like you're now less confident in it?
Well, I definitely feel less confident in the idea that it's like true, like that it's a conspiracy. I think that you presented good arguments. It's more so that, like, I guess, like, to put it this way, I don't think I've heard a lot of leftist pushback on this, like with like going detailed, like breaking down each of these specific points. So it's a little bit hard to like gauge some of the arguments without like hearing like, you know, stronger counter arguments. Like I said, I wasn't like fully convinced by any of it. Just more like there were some cases made there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, call in if you think of other ones that you're like, look, man, I'm not trying to tell you it did happen. I just am having a hard time letting this point go, and we'll go over that one.
Walk through that one too.
Right.
Gotta love it.
You forgot. You forgot about the post-it note that was on the president's desk that said "fake gun."
Fake gun?
Yeah, it was a fake gun. That was like, I mean, that's obviously why it's a conspiracy, you know?
Wait, is that real?
I haven't heard that.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay,
Oh,
I was gonna say.
I was like, how have I not heard of the fake gun post-it note yet? Okay, I got you.
You forgot about my smoking gun argument here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It was for dramatic effect.
Did you know that actually if you take the shooter's name and you rearrange the letters, it spells Baron Trump?
It's true. It says like we should build a ballroom for the president. That's what his middle name.
You know what? Cole Allen practically does have the word ballroom in it. I'm convinced now. There's L's, there's A's, there's N. Well, N is not an M, but you know what? There's an O. It's close enough. What's his middle name? Is it ballroom? All right. We'll see you, Chris.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
All right. You have a great one.
Jackson, pretending to call from Mississippi. Maybe you moved there. I don't know. Jackson, you are on the line with Jimmy and Ari. Jackson, how old are you?
Oh, my stop. Collaborate and ISIS back.
Hey, Jackson, just so you know, I'm going to unmute you and I'm going to let you keep playing the music. Generally, YouTube will require at least 15 seconds, sometimes 10, for copyrighted music to be an issue. If you put up pretty much any song under 5 seconds, you're probably never going to have an issue. But it also requires the audio be able to make something called an audio match. And the quality of your audio is so dog shit that actually it's not like that. Like, I'm not very worried. And now, Jackson, that I have your attention, I'd also like to tell you that I know that either you or the owner of, I think it's actually you. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is you. Your initials are R-E-T. And your address starts with a 4. Anyway, did you have any response to that?
And I think it's
I'm sorry, what?
And it's like a pound.
What?
Being quick, get nimble. I see when I hear a cymbal and a hi-hat.
Is that him rapping now, or is he just still playing the rap?
I think it's him. I think it's been him the whole time, and he's doing a horrible job. He's got zero rhythm.
Well, I'm going to call you Rhett, R-E-T, or your initials. Rhett, you're also a bad rapper. Now, do you actually want to talk about the topic you called in on, how many genders there are? Did you actually want to discuss that?
Learn how to use your phone, man.
Okay, I think he is just playing it again.
Okay. I don't know. It just sounds like horrible.
All right, well, hey, Jackson, you waited 2 hours.
Yeah, that's what you say.
An hour and a half, and it didn't land. We can't literally go back. And Rhett, I don't want you to think that I'm saying this just because I'm like, oh, look how nonchalant. I don't even care. I'm covering it. Legitimately go back and listen. They wouldn't even be able to copyright claim the song because they wouldn't know it was their song.
Yeah, it's horrible. And if
your audio quality is dog shit.
It's honestly worse than freaking Eli's, and that's not a good thing. So how'd you manage that, man? Eli's literally gave me a headache. Luckily, the ibuprofen helps, so I'm good.
Let's see. We have 11 minutes. That was the last call. I say we just call it early. What do you think? Guys, all right, we've got 11 minutes. We could do super chats. You want to read some soups?
Yep.
Thank you for everybody. I know some people leave at the super chats, even though some of the funniest things arise out of the questions we get and some of my favorite parts. But thank you for everybody who's been here so far. Please share out these things. Make sure you watch clips on the other days and shit. Man, God, people are not sending their best, you know?
Not at all. Granted, it's not been as bad as some of the people I get, but
yeah.
Hey. I had TikTok try to take me down briefly yesterday. Well, so I can't say try to, they did. When I was yelling at someone for defending the bombing in Manab. And they didn't even take me down for harassment and bullying, which is a very common one. They did it for misinformation. And then I got it back immediately. So I was like, okay.
I'm really excited to start simul streaming to TikTok. That'll be not fucking dog shit.
I did send you the instructions on how to access that stream key. You should be able to get it tomorrow, I would imagine. Should be unlocked.
Hell yeah.
Heck yeah. I've actually been telling people your TikTok in my chat, so I don't know if they're actually going to follow you.
Thanks. Probably a mistake, but thanks. Arcade says, all of the suddenly something. I was hoping I'd think of something funny by the time I got there. God, Arcane. I'm right there with you.
Joshua said it's been 8 years since the announcement of Elder Scrolls 6. It's been 2 years since the anime adaptation of, I can't say that one right now. Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint was announced. We have seen no release date for either. Oh, well, that sucks. I'm so sorry.
Crazy too. Elder Scrolls 6. You know, on the one hand, there's a thing where you could respect it taking a long time because you could be like, they probably kept hitting things where they're like, if we do it this way, it's not going to be good enough. We won't be able to live up to the standard, even though we know a lot of it was where they put production teams and stuff like that. But you could say, but the problem is now they've taken so long on it because a lot of gamers have said who love the Elder Scrolls, a lot of gamers have said, I'd rather you take longer and give me a good game than rush it and give me shit. But now you've taken so long that if you deliver anything besides perfection, you are fucked up. If you want to ask me my question about my thoughts on veganism, it only costs you $5. You're going to have to put it in a super chat. Billy says, testing YouTube's ability to limit my super chat. I like you both, but this may not go through. Billy.
It went through.
It went through.
Yeah.
Super chats, find a way. And that was very generous, and I appreciate that.
Appreciate you so much, Billy. Flux channeler. Eli is confusing formal, e.g. the form of, with formal, e.g. a formal dinner or formal debate. Laughing my fucking ass off.
I thought that's what it was too, but it turned out he just didn't know that there are categories of certain debates are considered, or certain fallacies are considered formal and informal fallacy. I think you're saying the same thing actually. But yeah, an informal fallacy is a fallacy committed not when the argument, essentially if the argument isn't presented as a syllogism or using some other base of logic, you can still commit a fallacy, but that would be called an informal fallacy, which is what we were doing. And a formal fallacy has to do with if you are using a base of logic, like modal or whatever. And so, yeah. And it's okay, Eli. It's okay you were making those mistakes. You're only 20. I was a piece of shit, too, when I was 20. There's time. Just don't condescend about philosophy classes and ask people about how many degrees they have when you thought formal and informal had to do with debate setting and not the argument.
He was so bad in his mic. Get a better microphone.
And doesn't change whether you've committed a fallacy. An informal fallacy is still just as much a fallacy as a formal one.
Yeah. And I don't understand how StreamYard would have improved his horrendous mic.
Buy AirPods or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah. Obviously, you can't use your phone.
Beefy Bacardi. Did I already? No, this is me. Beefy Bacardi says, hey, Eli, if you're going to keep eating your mic, at least lower your gain and or turn on compression or something. I think Elon was calling from their phone. But he liked the taste.
I think he liked the taste of his mic. Okay?
I do kiss my mic a lot.
Yeah, he was definitely eating it all the way.
I almost wish I had brought them on air, but the reason it was so good was I didn't. That person who called in, who was like, I just called in to tell you you're a couple of, and then throwing slurs out. The way he was so excited, giddy that he got on air, not knowing I was talking to him on the phone and no one could hear him. So funny. And now I feel like he's dumb enough that he's going to think that means that that's my phone number, but I can use my phone to connect to our screening system.
Exactly. They're just nuts. Oh, are you kidding me? This thing hates me. I didn't even do anything this time.
No! Love lift us up where we belong. That has a bigger chance of getting copyright struck, and I can't carry a tune, than the fucking the guy on the phone earlier. Way higher chance, and there's still no chance. Where
you were
the
clear.
eagles fly. I can do it as Stewie. Where the eagles fly on the mountain high. Love lifts us up. Let's see. Squirrel Knitter, I'm always very careful when I say it, said we should have a federal holiday for voting. I agree.
Oh yeah, 100%. Voting day should be a federal holiday.
Oh, I accidentally skipped never.
Oh, I was going to go back and read it. It's okay. The only thing more dishonest than a Christian is a MAGA Christian. Did you know you can't capitalize MAGA? Must be the left censorship. What?
Did that really happen today? That's fucking hilarious.
What? It wouldn't let you capital.
Or did somebody get mad you didn't capitalize? I got to know more, Bidet. Tell me more.
Oh.
I'll even look out. You don't even have to pay to tell me more. I just need the story.
Yeah, I want to know about that one. Let's see. Legally Maud said, the male egos are so fragile tonight. I mean,
dumb
they typically
comment.
are.
They're always fragile.
Yeah, like they almost always
tonight?
are.
Why specify? Male egos are always, and I have one. It's fragile as fuck. You guys just don't know how to trigger it. It is very fragile, just not in any ways that I have to worry about on air. Don't mention my nipples, okay, though? Just kidding. You thought, or was that reverse psychology? Is my nipples actually a point of my fragile ego? But by pretending it was and joking about it, now I've thrown you off. And is this double psychology, reverse double psychology? And is that double reverse psychology animal style?
I'm just going to pull out my pretzel now.
Hell yeah. Never Had a Bidet says it's like watching someone get graped and mugged and not calling the popo.
Yeah, there's actually a named event for that. It's called Genovese syndrome, where people just watch something happen and just keep walking and don't intervene. It happens a lot, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So much that they gave it a name. Your inaction against evil is evil itself, Evan. Stop pretending to be a victim here. I mean, that's all.
Max.
Oh my God. Oh, yes, I forgot to read Max's name. My bad. Thanks, Max.
Foxy says, I can speak for trans people. As a trans myself, fuck you, Evan. I lost healthcare because of people with your attitude. Evan is savable, okay, guys? I think Evan is making mistakes. Evan is reachable, and I think I can convince Evan to vote in 2028.
I think so. He definitely needs to vote for his congresswoman that's campaigning. God Sinner, nice name. I'm mad at my first ever vote. Glad I was too sick for my second available time. Sad I was sick and lost track of days for the third time. Happy I voted fourth.
Guys, I voted for McCain in 08.
Yeah.
Sorry. I voted for Obama by 2012. If that makes you feel any better.
I honestly can't even blame people for voting for McCain to a degree, because McCain wasn't a horrible person.
Yeah, he was. But I was a Republican racist, so, you know.
Listen, he could be. I don't know.
McCain was a warmongering sack of absolute shit, but he's less bad than Trump, for sure. But I
couldn't vote in 2008, so I was... I couldn't do that.
But we don't 16. Torture. We're America. You know, he didn't like torture, and that was nice. Yeah. Well, that was his thing of why we shouldn't. That's not supposed to be us. He was a better person than Trump, and probably like day-to-day person, caring about people was probably semi-decent, but he absolutely supported the worst types of conservatism. The whole reason he got so popular was people wanted more war shit.
I mean, that's come back now, and people just keep living in it.
They wanted him to finish Bush's job. He seemed the most competent.
Someone said he coined bomb Iran. I didn't know that.
I thought that was a bomb Iran. Bomb. I'm pretty sure that was literally a Rush Limbaugh song parody, but
never mind.
It could have been him.
Who knows?
He also had one that was kind of funny was they did Bimbo. What is it called? Bimbo number 9. I think that might have been the way they called it, but it was Bill Clinton singing a little bit of Monica out the door, a little bit of Stephanie on the floor. That one was kind of funny. I don't remember what the rest of the song was, but it was kind of funny.
That Clinton, please never talk again.
You know what my favorite thing about Rush Limbaugh, honestly, is his death. All right. Lung cancer couldn't have happened to a worse guy.
If this stays on my head throughout the rest of these super chats, y'all should be impressed.
You should super chat more.
Yeah, like I'm already impressed by myself.
Sylvie says, pro vertical tip for everyone watching. If you join the vertical from your liked video playlist, you can turn off the screen and do background play. Well, they should make it easier than that, but I'm glad you have a way.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I also have premium, so I don't have that issue. So.
I'm going to take poop juice while you read this next one.
Foxy said, Evan, you suck. Jimmy explained it several times now. Go fuck yourself, Jimmy.
Hey, babe, will you go put chicken in the pressure cooker and rice in the rice cooker? The chicken should be able to just drain into and then use broth, use bone broth, not the chicken broth, because that one might kill me. And then you know how to do the rice. Please.
Yeah.
I've already prepped it. It's already in a brine in the fridge. So you can just dump it in, put the broth in after you drain it, and set it to cook. I don't know if you hear me, Luthien.
I hear you. I'll do it.
You do hear me? Will you do that for me, please?
Yeah.
You're the best. I love
Yay.
you. I could use that rice. It's literally basmati rice and chicken that's only been in a salt brine. Literally stuff has been happening again. I've been trying to expand like into the most basic foods. Like what if I did salt and vinegar potato chips? And lately I've gotten so much sicker recently. So I'm literally going back down to my like 3 food diet. It's fucking terrible. Anyway.
That sucks. Ooh.
This is disgusting.
I can read the next one.
Go ahead.
Joshua, thank you, said, the line helps a lot. I had an employee come out as trans and I wanted to be supportive. She told me to watch Takis. I've been there every Thursday since.
That's
really
the
awesome.
Shit. I love that.
Oh, by the way, did Jovan tell you that he asked me to take over for him, fill in on Thursday? Oh, hold on, guys. I'm doing all this and it's still staying on my head. You guys should be enjoying this. Does everyone like my pretzel, by the way? Do we like the pretzel?
I love the pretzel. On Thursday, you're filling in for Javon. Is that what you said?
He asked me about it Saturday.
If you want to do that, I'd love that. I thought I was going to have to.
Yeah, no, he messaged me. He's like, "Can you fill in on Thursday?" I'm like, "It starts at 5, right? I get home by 4:30 typically, so I'm good with that. I haven't done it with Lux yet. I think it'd be cool."
Okay, maybe you never mind. We're not friends like that. That joke I was gonna make. I don't know if we've reached that level. I had a joke. Some people online I would make. I'm just gonna chill.
I mean, after yesterday,
we are closer. We've been brought together by doxing.
That was insane.
The joke would have been like, you said I'm going to do it with Lux, and I was going to say, maybe you just host. That was the joke. I just didn't know
actually
if that
think
was
I would have, I'm not sure I would have like caught the joke.
Yeah, and explaining it would have been more devastating and made me look way worse.
But I got it. See, someone else said do it with Lux is a joke that makes itself. Yeah, I know.
Everybody gets it. All I was doing was compulsive.
It makes perfect sense. I did open up the joke for everyone else.
Green Man Dave says, I'm going to do it as Charlie Day. The only ballroom we need is granted by wearing kilts. Down with pants, up with kilts. There's a double meaning in that.
Oh my God.
Screwed you? I have a number of voices, guys.
Oh, interesting. Apparently Evan sent a super chat. He's Cheesy Ches. Said, I was Evan in one of the calls, been a fan of the show and of both hosts independently. I will listen back to our call and call in to clarify my points more. Love you guys and keep doing what you do.
I'm glad you're going to call back in, Evan. I'm going to get you to vote in 2028, even if it's Gavin Newsom. I hope it's not, but even if it is.
Yeah, I've already had that discussion many times. I don't want him to run for president. Please just stay in your lane, my guy. Run for Senate. I don't fucking know.
I have to
do that first. That's called a mute. Where did I scrolled and it went away. Hold on. Jeff, who usually says silly stuff in the chat, but also turns it back around. I don't know why. Hi, Jeff. I'm just poking at you. Love you both. W show. Thank you, Jeff, for showing the love. We appreciate that too. Let's see. I think this one's more of a question for you, Jimmy.
Okay, go ahead.
Keegan said, you guys ever thought about doing a political version of Matt's atheist debate project? Like a sources doc, but presented as a series of vid? I'd pay for that. Much love from Australia. It's a
good idea. Maybe somewhere in the future. That I think would take a team of fact checkers and I wouldn't want to be the sole writer.
Yeah.
And yet I find myself going like, I'd want a lot of control and I just don't have the time to add it. But that's interesting. It's an interesting
valid.
thought.
That's valid.
I would need to solidify all the other projects that are currently right now my high level of involvement. Mm-hmm. For the record, Arden still does a lot here, but while I was sick, the joke was always like Jimmy's at the top, but Arden's the one running the channel. We're not there anymore. Jimmy is working his ass off all day, every day, and is only taking breaks because he gets attacked by literally like fucking fatigue, assaulted by fatigue things that we're literally trying to figure out where they're coming from. Anyway.
Understandable.
I'm just so excited for The Boys. I will take a break to watch the next episode of The Boys. I think tonight's the night where it starts to it's the series, the last season of the series.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's about to, I think tonight's the night shit gets real. I kind of thought it was going to happen last week, but I was like, maybe not. Some cool stuff happened last week, but I think tonight's the night where it's going to be like, damn, hire interns at my socialist company. That sounds like a way to get rid of all of my good credit.
Oh, yeah, that's possible too. Oopsie. God Sinner came back. Thank you again. My brother and father keep telling me back then that McCain was our only chance to get out of Iraq. I know better than to listen to them now. Fair.
Hell yeah. God Sinner says, before I forget again or miss Takis because of work, can you thank Dr. Ben for me? I'm finally on FemNMS. Love y'all from Caracal. I will definitely, I think, probably remember, but I might forget also. But I will try to remember, Kara, because obviously you do a lot, and I don't care about people who don't do as much, and I wouldn't try to remember if it was somebody else. I'm just kidding. I'll try to remember.
If you make a comment, he's more like on the video after the show, he's more than likely to be reminded of it when he goes back and reads them.
Put my name in the comment, Jimmy.
Yes.
Blah, blah, blah.
He'll probably do a search bar for it.
I definitely do filter to my name. That's definitely true. Yeah.
Foxy, McCain did do the bomb Aran thing on stage at one point, but I don't think he started it IIRC. I honestly don't know what that acronym is.
If I recall.
Oh, that makes sense. Listen, I only just found out like 2 weeks ago what GOAT stood for, so.
Liz Chris says, for the nightmares Jimmy caused during the podcast. Go fuck yourself, Jimmy. I don't remember what nightmares I caused. Was it by telling everybody how I'm convinced Tucker Carlson's running for president?
That might be it. Or talking about somebody having 2 mics in their mouth or whatever you said.
On the podcast?
No, on here. Oh, on the podcast? Oh, no. I thought they were talking about the live.
I think Liz is talking about The Line is a Podcast, the new episode of which will be tomorrow night or Thursday night after the live show. You guys end at 8 and we take it from there. Next episode of Line as a Podcast. Don't miss it. Don't miss all the other shit and things and stuff. And I think that's it for us. I'm Jimmy Snow, and I was born in the dirt. Thank you, Ari.
Thank you. Also, the pretzel lasted for 15 minutes. So good night, guys. You're welcome.
Bye.